Oh yeah.
That's a bass.
Now it's fighting music.
You almost had it. You had the oh yeah. You had to come back with it. That's all we got was one. He only gave us one oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kool-Aid guy.
Hello, my buddies. Hello, my homies. Hello, my disc golf pals.
Wow.
What up? What up?
Broadway.
And that's how they do it on Broadway.
On the WB.
What up?
What up?
Disc delinquents and frisbee fanatics.
Disc delinquents.
I love it.
Well, welcome back to episode 74
Yes.
of the Music City Disc Golf Podcast. It is Monday, March 9th, 2020, and
daylight savings time is in effect. Sorry.
Back
So
to
good.
daylight savings time.
Back
It's
it up.
our favorite time of the year. Now, if they could just leave it this way forever, that'd be great. They didn't change the clocks in Arizona where I moved here from, so I'm spoiled on that.
What?
I've heard it referred to
I
as
have a hard time getting used to it.
disc golf time. Because
Yeah.
you can actually play after work.
Mhm.
So it's-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a running joke with the Chattanooga squad that the reason they have so many good disc golfers is because they get so much more daylight than we do.
That's it.
They're just on the other side of the time zone.
That's
Oh,
it. That
yeah.
explains everything.
But yeah, welcome back, everybody. I am Will McCaskill, and I am joined tonight by the colloquial but never parochial Dr. Zachary Hoy,
I'm listening.
the magnanimous Marcus Rogers,
In the house. Hello. Hello.
and we are joined tonight by a very special guest, our friend Bradford Watson.
What's up,
Bradford
y'all?
is this is the man behind Flytco that everybody has been seeing so much about on the interwebs, and we wanted to get him in the Sapphire Lounge.
Yeah.
Have a little chat, let you guys get to know him, get to know what his company is about, and talk about all things disc golf. But without further ado, let's get the business section out of the way.
Let's pay for this thing.
Pay for this thing with the weekly breakdown. We can break it breakdown.
Break it down.
Break it down.
All the way down.
Starting on Saturday, we are going to break right into the sanctioned Saturday Shuffle. Nailed it again.
Wow. You
And-
got that off quick before we could make fun of you.
Oh, I know, right?
You got that without stuttering, too. That's a tongue twister.
So
He's
this
getting
is
good.
this is the sanctioned league portion of the Music City Shuffle with Zach Evans every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Sign up, 9:30 T. Tags on the line, and they are shuffling through different courses. Hence the name Shuffle. And they will be ending their league this coming Saturday at Mill Ridge, at the new course that we're building for the test event for the course we're building for the National Tour finale at the Music City Open. And so that's going to be the final week of the league. It's $20 to get in for pros, $15 for AMs, or you can just get practice access, $5. So come out and see us. This is also going to be a flex start format, so different from the rest of the league. But we will be playing from 10 to 2. Come out, form your group, play with whoever you want, anytime from 10 to 2. Yeah, and if you
We're
don't...
trying to get people playing so we can actually get some ratings, it's going to change a little bit. It's not going to be the final. It's like a good, really strong first draft,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah, the course is still a little rough, and hole 5 is eventually going to be a beast of a hole, but we're going to probably play it in 2 portions.
Yep.
So play it as 2 holes. But it's going to be generally the track that we're going to be using for MCO. So we're excited to show everybody, get you out there playing it, get your feedback. This is all, we're inviting you guys to be a part of the development process of this so that everybody can kind of give their opinion and what they think it should be done with it.
If you're worried, if you're excited, if you don't know what to think about Mill Ridge, come on out. At least check out the property.
Yeah, for sure. Great opportunity. And also on Saturday, we've got Seven Oaks random draw doubles with John Williams, 1:30 sign up, 2 o'clock tee. Also, we've got a $90 ace pot for the shuffle finale. So if you do buy into the sanctioned portion of it, there's a $90 ace pot on the line. Seven Oaks doubles also has an ace pot, and it's at $185.
There you go.
So get you some money.
It's growing.
Sunday. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need The Edge. We have.
Rocked out on the timing right there. That was
You guys are amazing.
Can't teach that.
all right.
No, man,
they
we-
practiced that 20 times.
We've been
before the
hanging
show
out a little
started.
bit
No, they
too
didn't.
much.
Yes, they
The
did.
good
No, they
doctor.
didn't.
Yeah.
Sunday singles with Q-Tip at 7 Oaks, 9 o'clock sign up, 9:30 tags on the line, and Ace Pot is Captain Running at $200. So get you some money.
Each one is growing.
Yep, getting up there. And also on Sunday, we've got 2 o'clock in the afternoon, random draw doubles at Cane Ridge with Big Z. 2 o'clock, like I said, $12 all in. Ace Pot is also Captain Running at $200. It's $400 on Sunday alone.
Yeah.
Get you some money.
Get out there on Sundays and do a little work if you're
Yep.
off work.
And big news coming to, I mean, obviously we've talked about this a little bit in the last couple episodes, but with the return of daylight savings, a whole slew of weekly events come back into the rotation. So starting on Monday, the Sunrise Spring League is going to be kicking off on March 16th at Sharp Springs. This is with Jonathan Carter. He's the TD of this event. $5 to play, $10 all in. It's 5 o'clock. No.
5 o'clock in the morning.
8:15 a.m. sign up, 9 o'clock start.
I was looking for something on in the early morning, so I can't wait to try this out. I can't wait.
Yep, I was jumping ahead in the list there. So, yeah, get out there for you guys that have time in the early morning to play around. That's going to be a really cool. I believe it's 6 weeks long or 8 weeks long. Starts on the 16th and goes through April 20th.
Yeah. It's a good time out there because the course is nice and quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good time. Check it out. And also on Mondays, coming back on the 16th, we've got random draw doubles at Sharp Springs in Monday evenings. So,
Boom.
Jonathan, and I'm sorry, Matt. The Sunrise Spring League, the TD of that is Matthew Ryan Doubt, and he is going to be running the Spring League this year. Jonathan Carter is the TD of random draw doubles at Sharp Springs. That's coming back Monday evenings at 5 o'clock, starting on the 16th as well. So for the Spring League, all divisions, it's $15 to get in, and the optional Ace Pot is $5. For the doubles, it's $5 to get in, $10 all in. Did I break that down
Boom.
succinctly after I stumbled?
Get out to Sharp Springs on Monday, folks.
I've added a whole bunch of stuff to the list, and I've got to get used to it. Sorry,
It's Monday.
guys.
I
It's
totally understand.
And it's Monday.
I doubt there were any mistakes in
got a
that
case of the Mondays.
presentation.
0.
Yeah.
Flawless victory.
Yeah, no mistakes.
He's an hour behind, folks. No. He gets-
That's probably got something to
take.
do with it. But, of course, we know Squamcher's Ferry doubles at Sanders Ferry Park in Hendersonville has been off for a little bit, but they are making their return tonight. So they're out there duking it out right now for $400 in their Ace Pot. Googly moogly, get you some money.
That 400's out there, so it's
Yep. So starting now, every Monday night, go check out Russell Hammond and Derek Rowland at Squamcher's Ferry Doubles Monday evenings. Also, coming into Tuesday, we got random draw doubles at Seven Oaks Park with Dave Griffin. That's 5 o'clock sign up, 5:30 T, and the Ace Pot is another $200.
boom.
Goodness
There you go.
gracious, get you some money. And also making its return on Tuesday, March 17th, to our weekly rotation, Triple Creek Doubles with Case and Newton. That's a 5 o'clock round, and the Ace Pot will start out at $300.
I first played out there at Bag Tag last year. That place is fun, man.
Triple Creek is a great
Yeah.
course.
It's a tough course. One
Yeah.
more tough that you can find.
Where's it at?
Gallatin.
Gallatin.
Yeah, Gallatin.
Triple Creek and Gallatin. That's the place that churned out the likes of DJ Wicks.
Yeah.
He got second place in Open, didn't he?
Yep, he sure did yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about the
Good
bag
golfer.
tag too. But yeah, solid golfer, Team Millennium as of this year, and other teams as well.
Nice.
And our
Good
homie.
stuff.
So what's up, DJ? I don't know what I just pointed at.
Yeah.
To me, I'm
Oh, is
pointing
he
at
up-
the
is he
camera.
I
up
threw the double deuces.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm
Hashtag Team
in Japan or
Flytco,
China.
too.
China, you know?
Is it Donnie?
Yeah.
Is it Donnie
Double
James?
deuces, hey.
Eyes that are
Was that my
super
turn?
squinty but
Johnny's-
somehow enormous.
Yeah. Donnie
That's
James.
all I got. Please don't send me anywhere. I will embarrass you.
We can't take Marcus anywhere. And then moving into Wednesday night, coming back triumphantly this week, we've got the Wednesday night tag extravaganza. And that is our weekly singles tags round. This is one of the handful of weeklies that is run by the club, the board of the club. So, Dr. Hoy, Dr. Details, I'm just going to
Yes.
quit playing around and just call you the TD of this event because
Boom.
you are the one that's there.
Heck yes.
So Dr. Details will be bringing the WNT back to Seven Oaks on Wednesday nights, 5 o'clock sign up, 5:30 T. Tags on the line as always, and it's $1 to play, and then everything else, ace pot, CTPs, side action is all optional. So great opportunity to bring somebody new out to check out the sport, meet everybody involved, and only $1 to play goes to
Or
the
to
course
pick
fund.
up any lost and found items.
The
buy
laugh will be
anything.
at the Oaks for the
Lost
WNT.
and found frisbees. The laugh pile. Because I laugh because nobody ever picks it up. It just grows.
Right.
Like everybody's always looking for a lost disc, but nobody ever claims a lost disc.
You
So
laugh
that's
for a
odd.
while because
That's
of,
odd.
somehow it always fills up with nasty towels, but you only laugh for like a
No,
while, and then it's not.
We don't
It's
accept.
not
We
fun
don't.
enough for
There's certain things we don't accept.
Yeah.
So the trash can is where we donate towels.
Every time you're
of
not
course.
looking, a new nasty towel shows up hung over the edge of that that bin, though. So.
Yeah. Or
Where
if you need
were
to
we?
get to your tags.
Right. Yes. Also, tags that were left behind from the bag tag, you can pick those up Wednesday nights as well. Dr. Hoy will pretty much have anything that needs to be out for you guys to see.
Yep.
So, also on Wednesday night, we've got random draw doubles at Cedar Hill with Billy Fowler. That is a 5 o'clock sign up, 5:30 T, and the ace pot just broke $400. It's at 408.
Boom.
Screw it.
And I heard there's a new pin on hole 9, Cedar Hill.
Yeah,
Have you
the new long
played it
pin
yet,
on
Marcus?
9.
I have not tried it. I have not played it. I didn't know about it. Tell me about it.
I heard it's like where that further pin up. But it's more even in the woods.
Oh, wow.
So you like get to that old pin and then just keep going back into the woods.
I'm a fan of tough courses, so
yeah,
throw
I'm
it
a
right at
fan
me.
of Billy Fowler. I think
Yeah.
that guy deserves some golf snaps.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Billy Fowler for always innovating out there at Cedar Hill. It's already has been having the best course in Nashville, and he just keeps switching it up on us, new and exciting ways. It's
No,
fun
honestly,
to watch.
anytime anyone asks me the toughest course in Nashville, the best course in Nashville, it's always Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
And I appreciate anybody that's maintaining that course.
Yeah.
So shout out to Billy for that. And we
Yeah.
also had lunch at the Acapulco
Burrito.
burrito, which was
Nice.
amazing. Definitely go try that out. I guess it's early, but that's my restaurant.
Plug for the night.
Restaurant. Yeah, because I
All right.
asked.
And
last
they also
week.
do a great ceviche,
Oh,
fresh avocado.
nice.
And I saw
Start
the
a new
biggest.
podcast.
All right, so check this out.
wait! You ate
Oh, I'm
ceviche
so sorry,
in
sir.
between disc golf rounds?
I'm fancy. Seriously, check this out. They had a guy, literally had a guy with a guitar playing music
Nice.
at tableside.
All right.
Excuse me. We all thought it was the music. You know, we're looking at
Yeah.
it like, oh, that's a cool song. We look to the left and he's like literally
There he is.
serenading,
Yeah.
going at it with his guitar. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
Acapulco, burrito.
I think we're gonna have to look for maybe some sponsorship for the MCO
Acapulco authenticity.
discount at the
you go.
Acapulco
Authenticity.
ceviche
Authenticity.
discount now at Acapulco burrito.
Okay,
All right.
back to the weekly breakdown.
Thank you.
Yeah. Duck River Disc Golf, random draw doubles at Henry Horton State Park every Wednesday night. And that is a 5:30 tee off. They got all sorts of stuff. CTPs, I think it's $10 all in. 4 bounties on the course worth over $300 a piece. Good stuff. Go check out Henry Horton on Wednesdays. Boom. I don't know. These headphones are doing something weird to my brain. I'm so used to using the crappy earbuds.
Welcome to 2020,
I
buddy.
know. It's weird. My brain is exploding.
Earbuds with cords are so 2019, man.
So 2019, dude. Yeah, so this is fun. On Thursday nights, as you guys know, we've got random draw doubles at White House with Lance Kirby. And we talked a little bit about, we just recently put in a new hole out there, hole 13B. We put a red, white, and blue veteran basket on the course with Lance. And then Jody Franklin promptly smashed it at Thursday night doubles for $350.
Boom.
Well, here's news. 2 weeks that basket's been in the ground. 2 weeks, Jody Franklin has smashed the ace pot.
What?
Got himself a nice, cool $300, maybe even another $350, depending on who showed up for dubs that night.
That's a few dollar bills.
Yeah.
Yep. Starting to think maybe, just maybe, the veteran baskets catch a little too good.
A little too good.
So yeah,
Those are the official complaint of the.
the official
They're too
complaint.
good at
Jody
catching.
Franklin loves them, you guys.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Prodigy basket.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I got nothing
but I
else to
gotta
say
go
about
there.
that. I love Prodigy. I put with a PA3, but those baskets, good lord.
We could wild out a little bit after we get through the breakdown.
Okay. I got a little on my chest, just
Yeah.
a little bit. Just
We'll let it out.
Just
buddy.
let it build
Okay.
up a little bit.
Podcast
let it build
therapy.
a little more.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
But yeah, the Ace Pod is down to $50, but go get you some money there at White House. Always a good time Thursday night doubles. Shout out to Jody Franklin, Golf Snaps.
Golf Snaps.
For that Ace. I had this whole slideshow prepared, and that's the only picture that'll work. I can't transition to any of the other images.
That's fine.
Come on, guys.
We're going to describe each picture tonight with words.
Yeah, we'll look at it and tell you
And
what
sounds.
we see.
That's right.
But also on Thursday nights, there is a putting challenge at Mayday Brewing in Murfreesboro, brought to you by Flying Colors Disc Golf, our friends Ed and Kim Birdie. Shout out to the Birdies. And that is a 5:30 start at Mayday, so go check them out for a little indoor putting league action that we still got going on out in Murfreesboro. And then coming back on April 2nd, Barfield Random Draw doubles in Murfreesboro on Thursday nights, 5 o'clock.
right.
Jonathan Carter, the TD of that, also $5 to get in, $10 all in, just like Sharp Springs doubles. So that's coming back. Good news there.
Boom.
And that's your weekly breakdown, folks. I did want
Wasn't-
to... Sorry?
There's something on Fridays.
What? Sorry? Friday?
Fridays.
Coming in sometime in April, the weekend kickoff, Jordan Webster is going to be jumping around between Naval Hill and Two Rivers.
Nice.
Wow.
So there will be some Friday action. And we were talking a little bit more yesterday at the Bag Tag about the Ladies League that we've been trying to start. So I think they
Yeah.
might be looking at Thursday nights for that
Boom.
every other week. So do
Yeah.
like a bi-weekly format. So stay tuned for details on that as well. But before we get too far off the rails, couple other things that Jeff Casalina, our friend down there, president of NTDGA
Heck
in
yeah.
Murfreesboro, wanted me to update you guys on. There are two, you guys know amateur match play is starting back up, so
right.
lots of opportunities for you guys to get involved in that. Jeff, I think he is the TD of the match play brackets down there, but there's a bracket at Barfield and a bracket at Sharp Springs, and our own Dave Westrom is going to be running a Nashville bracket at Seven
Nice.
Oaks. So get on UDisc, get on the interwebs, and get information on all of our local brackets for amateur match play, because that's a fun
Yep.
time.
Nice. A lot of fun.
Also, the Barfield Open is coming back on April 19th, and I believe it's a C tier this year.
Okay.
But
Nice.
that's a classic mainstay
It is.
legacy event. Do I sound weird to anybody else in their
You
headphones?
sound zero weird.
Okay.
No,
good.
you sound.
You sound like the typical.
I'm a big fan of your voice, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Aw,
Right? Yeah, so
Marcus.
Hey,
You sound like you have a red hat on, though.
Don't
It's
make me
kinda
blush, okay?
Weird.
that is weird. It's different
So I
when he wears
totally
the black
don't.
hat.
Exactly. It's like
Can't
the
lie to the
echo-
audience anymore. They can see us now.
The echo.
But yes, so all of those things going on. I think I got everything that he wanted to, because leagues, weeklies, match play, Barfield Open, boom.
Over $1,000 in Ace. So hey, just pick your course.
Yep. So,
It's that time of year, folks. Get
Yeah.
out to a league. You have
That's
no
right.
excuse. Any day of the week.
It's getting warmer.
It's getting warmer. It's
Time's
getting light
changing.
longer.
Oh,
It's-
time change.
yeah.
That day was perfect. It
It
started
was.
off like very calm. I think it got windy.
You got some new glow stuff that because still might be finishing up a couple holes with glow. So
Sure.
get out that new glow tape and glow stuff. Get out there.
days are only going to get longer, y'all.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about, because there's all sorts of stuff coming up and going on that had just been happened. But we've got a guest here tonight that we're really excited to talk about, because everybody has seen the logos, knows of Flytco. I don't know if a lot of our Nashville folks know a whole lot about Flytco. Two of our, but this is an interesting tidbit. The two of our board members with Music City Disc Golf are now sponsored
Right.
by Flytco. Big Z, Robert Zavala, and Katie Holbrook. Robert's our membership officer. Katie's our public relations officer. So,
Love those guys.
yeah. But there was a whole list of people that you picked up this year to support your brand. And tell us a little bit about Flytco.
That's right. Well, Flytco is my idea for Flytco is to be an outdoors-facing disc golf brand.
Nice.
And I felt that was a bit of a gap left for me.
Turn that mic up.
All right, turn the mic up.
No. Yeah, talking to the very front of it.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's good.
All right,
Bring it
radio
down so you
voice
don't
is
have to
on
sit up here,
now.
but-
That's right. All right. So where was I? So Flytco is an outdoors facing brand. Disc golf to me is about getting out in the woods. It's basically a hike, and I get to play a sport while I'm hiking.
Yeah.
Like my favorite courses are through the woods. Like for that reason, I love Sharp Springs and I love Barfield. Seven Oaks is cool, and the more of that, the better for me.
Yep.
So I wanted to create a brand that reflects that aesthetic, and I just want to create something that's for me and other people like me. And so, yeah.
I was wondering the name.
The name?
The Flytco.
Flytco?
I thought that was a cool way of
right.
doing the line over the Y, and I was just like,
I owe
that's the
that.
first thing when I saw it. I
Good.
think Barfield opened last year, or no, the Skeeter Heater, and you had some signs up at Sharp Springs, and
That's right.
I was like, Flytco. Where'd they get that name?
Nice.
So,
Just like any other
Doodling,
name, just
thought, hey, that'll look
just
really
the
good on a shirt.
I didn't. The graphics itself is not me. It's
Okay.
it's a good friend down in Columbia,
Yeah.
Alex Miracle. He's amazing.
Okay.
So I knew he could really execute my vision for the brand if I were to get him connected and on board. So I got him on board, and he did exactly what. And you talked about the Y, just the little simple things, like the little disc-looking thing over the Y. Yeah, and you may not even notice it's kind of like the edge of a basket at the bottom of the Y.
The letter Y
okay.
lends
I see what's
itself
going on here.
It looks like a
suspiciously to
basket.
a
Yeah,
basket.
yeah. There's several things that throw like that, and I love even the little. I mean, it's not really. You can't tie this to a disc golf thing, but the little flare of the F up to the top. But I was very happy with that. I mean, that's just one of two logos that I have. I have the other one that has like the little mountain tied in together. I don't have anything here to show you, but you'll see that on our mountain back T-shirts. It's a big like two mountains together, and it kind of ties together and says Flytco in a totally different way than that below. Two different looking pieces of the brand that kind of tie together. It's my two main things that I use.
Cool. You start the Flytco started officially in 2018, and I know I've been talking to you about Flytco and about getting you involved in some of our stuff for about that long.
Yes.
So I know there was a little bit of a startup process.
Definitely a startup process.
Yeah, I mean, building an inventory and knowing at least even what to start with is
Right. I mean, it actually like it wasn't like I didn't. Back in 2018, I was like, oh, I'm going to start a disc golf apparel brand. That's not even where my mind was when Flytco was created. My mind actually Flytco started out as actually a PDF that I created, inspired by, you go to like, how do I disc golf and how do I do all these, what's the fundamentals of disc golf, and you end up getting a hodgepodge of like 1,000 different videos that I'm over here, I'm on YouTube, and then I'm over here, and nothing seems really cohesive and together. I wanted to create something that was together, all in one piece, full with imagery, a PDF guide for beginners to get into disc golf, and it was geared toward beginners. Nice. And so I did a photo shoot where I was like broke it down, all the fundamentals of disc golf, like things that I can explain, but I can't not necessarily execute perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm not 1,000 rated guy out here by any means, but I know the fundamentals of disc golf. So I created this PDF document that I was like, I'll create this, and it'll be a simple little like $10 sell or something. And throughout that process, what do I call this? And I just I can't think of any other names that I actually threw out to tell you that would be funny, but I wish I could. But I ended up on Flytco. Like
Nice.
it's actually it's a shortened version of Flight Disc Golf Company.
Yeah.
So I took that Flytco, like you see on the shirts there, and that's where I ended up. Once I hit that, I knew it. I was like, yeah. That's what I want to call it.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you do if you've ever owned a business is like, is the website available?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the Instagram available? So you're like sucking up, like getting usernames like left and right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's it. So sucked up the domain and
Nice.
the Instagram handle and the Twitter handle, which I don't even use yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's Flytco came from just trying to come up with something.
Where can we find that PDF?
Yeah, PDF.
I'll be interested. To see
You should see it because
that.
it's me in every image. I had my wife. You may not know this, but I was a professional photographer for over 10 years,
Okay.
and that's why you see the Instagram. It's a bunch of pictures that all
Yeah.
usually are pretty well curated. Looks really good.
you have very nice pictures on you. It's a very cool Instagram. Shout out your Instagram handle.
It's Flytco.
at
It's just
Flytco?
Flytco.
Okay.
It's at Flytco. Flytco.
Let's check that
And So I try to keep all the pictures there specifically, like they have to fit the brand and they need to look sharp and look good.
Yeah.
Not just anything can get on there. It's in a way, it's sort of a little bit of a blog, like kind of a tribute to. And I always I'll message a person. I mean, I use a lot of pictures from other people, but I'll message them directly, like, hey, do you mind if I feature this on Flytco? I think it really fits the brand and speaks to what we do.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that hopefully with all the pictures, there's a lot of outdoor stuff featured. I mean, everything looks really cool.
Yeah.
So
I think that's one of the first things I noticed was, I'm like, who's taking all these pictures? Like, this,
it's a mixture.
It could be in a brochure, or like a outdoor magazine or something like that.
So I was a photographer before that. Getting back to that, and that's why I like the imagery.
Yeah.
And I had a vision for the brand and stuff, and also it helped because like when I had a photography business, obviously I had to promote through Instagram and blogs and stuff. So that came naturally to me just to help use that as a way to grow the business and whatnot.
And I noticed, because I had seen it, the two different framings of the title of the company, Flytco and Flight Disc Golf Company. And then your website, we've mentioned, you being a photographer and going for that really clean, crisp, curated look. I know my first impression of your website, it reminded me of any number of websites for other outdoor kind of directed companies. Like it very, very clean, very functional. It doesn't look cluttered or haphazardly thrown together. It reminded me of like the REI website or the like the Oboes or Keen Footwear website. On the mobile version, it's just it's patterned all really well. It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out, and I had that kind of, I wanted that control over it. I mean, it just needs to look good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brand, and like if you can't look good, then it's not going to go anywhere. And the brand message has to be there, and for me, that's outdoor adventure. That's why I always have hashtag disc golf adventure. Flytco, whatever. It's just I just want people to see disc golf as, like I said earlier, like a hike. You're taking a hike, throwing some plastic, and I can't think of anything better to be doing. I mean,
that's a great selling point to try to talk somebody into playing disc golf. Like I've heard it often, like the quote worthy version of it is hiking with a purpose.
Exactly, and that's what it is for me. And I think there's so many people out there that just don't have a clue what disc golf is. They think we're out throwing frisbees in the middle of a field. Which I mean, it's still fun, but it's not like cutting through the woods. Like Cane Ridge is it's pretty much cut through the woods, like for the most part.
And I was there when we cut it through the woods.
Right, you were there when we cut it through the woods. It's cut through the woods. You got probably the scars to show it. But yeah, that's what it is for me. So
nice.
So when did you start playing disc golf? How did you find?
That's a good question. I started playing disc golf in probably around the year 2000.
Okay.
Probably the first course I remember playing is Barfield, actually, and I don't think they had the back area there yet, but I still loved it. I had a friend that I went to Tennessee Tech. I had a friend that went to MTSU, and I don't think that Cookville course was out there yet. And he's like, "Hey man, there's this thing, disc golf. You want to try it? Go by." I tried it. It's pretty cool. So I got me I think I had the first disc that I ever owned. It was a Discraft Stratus.
Nice.
Very, very understable like that. I mean, you need that when you're starting. So, we went out there one disc. I think I threw everything overhand. I think I tomahawked everything. But had
thumbers were my favorite.
That's
when
a good strategy.
Thumbers and tomahawks because I played baseball growing up. So chucking through something overhand was completely natural to me.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, I'm also when I played baseball, I bat left-handed, so a backhand right hand is familiar to me. It's the same movement.
So you're right-handed, but
I'm right-handed, but I batted left-handed in baseball. So that movement, that pull, is everything I ever did all my life in baseball, all through college. So where was I going with that? You asked me when I started playing. 2000. It's probably when I started playing, just casual. I don't think we had the kind of club support systems that we have these days. So I played casually then. May have played the course in Cookville probably. At some point I moved to Jacksonville. I played courses in Jacksonville. Just if I could get a buddy to play, I'd go play. Yeah. And it wasn't till 2 years ago.
Okay. We were off there for a second. Oh, yep. We're still good.
Yeah, it's back on.
Still recording. I turned the light off.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that came right back.
Yeah, I was impressed. Okay.
So it's still going.
Yeah. Still,
All right, let's
still
roll.
recording.
So what I was in the middle of saying is that I played in Jacksonville a little while. Oh yes. So where I immediately left off was 2 years ago. I moved to Cookeville.
Okay.
I'm in Cookeville, Columbia, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they have the Muletown Club there, and then somehow I got connected with the Muletown the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I went out for an event, and those guys were awesome.
Yeah.
And it was so easy to just ease myself into that club and play so much. And there were so many events that they run. They offer the leagues, and they got the bag tags, and they got the doubles, the random draw doubles.
Thanks, Marcus.
So 2 years ago is when I really dove in to disc golf, and then I went from like 3 discs to like 35 or 40 in like a week. But I've had a lot of fun with those guys down there, and I can't say, I mean, huge shout out to Muletown Disc Golf. Those guys run a tight club, tight ship down there, and it's really been a big key to me loving disc golf even further than I already did before, when I was just trying to find buddies to play disc golf. And the other funny thing is, I lived before I moved, I lived in Nolensville. So it was right when Cane Ridge was like built. I had no idea. It was either there barely or I had just moved away.
Right.
But if I was still there, I'd be with you guys, and I'd be playing Cane Ridge constantly.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's where I would be if I hadn't moved to Columbia. I mean, it would have been like 5 minutes up the road, because I lived right there on that road that goes up there to Cane Ridge.
And now we're going to have Mill Ridge.
What?
That's right. Mill Ridge Park.
Where's
for
Mill
the
Ridge?
national tour.
Right next to Cane Ridge.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
It's just the
great
other
little
side
area.
of the 24.
There's so much property through there. So it's right next to 24 near the exit?
It's if you get off the 24 going east on Old Hickory, instead of going right like you're going to Cane Ridge, you take a left, and it's right there past the truck stop.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be around for the MCO this year.
Pardon my fumbling fingers, y'all. We just had a podcast nightmare scenario just about happen. You accidentally flip a button and lights go out, but the computer stayed recording. So
That's right. I thought we were gone.
The show goes on.
The show goes on. No, you mentioned Muletown, and we love those guys. Chris Arendt, Bethel,
They put
Wiley,
so much work into
Swiss.
that.
Yeah, dude, all those guys are
John
awesome.
Dale. John Dale was the president before
Yep.
Chris. And then John Dale's back in he took a year off from the board, and he's back in it this year. He's
Totally
he
get
just
that.
took a little break. right. And he's back in it full blown. I think he's running the match play. I don't know. He does a cool thing there and records it and everything.
It's been awesome to watch them kind of come up, because Mike McDaniel designed the course at Woodland. What was it, 4 years ago or something?
Nice
like that?
course, big fan of it. Mike McDaniel, good guy.
Yeah, great course.
Yeah, it's not that old.
Yeah,
And it was
then
shortly before I moved there, and it was like I'm so lucky that it was the timing was perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows where there probably would be no Flytco if that course wasn't built and that club wasn't formed.
Yeah.
Well, we when Alan Posey was still president of Music City Disc Golf, I know that was right at the time when Mike designed that course, and Alan started the communication with them, and we were able to kind of give them some just information about how we do things, how our operations kind of work, and just to watch them take it and run it. They're doing everything right as far as a club goes.
It feels like it as a club member. I haven't been able to I would.
The proof is in the pudding if they're growing or not.
They're
You know what I mean?
super growing.
And they're growing,
So plenty of bag tags. Plenty of club members there, and
I think that happens a lot where somebody gets into disc golf through a club.
they're important.
Like a club. Yeah, it's just
absolutely important.
You walk up on the course and you're like, you might have played a couple times, and you walk up and you're like, oh, is there an event going on today? It's like, it's Wednesday night tags. We say that all the time at Seven Oaks, and then somebody's like, all right, I might be here next week.
It's
And
really
then-
hard not to look at that
awesome.
same person. Like, how do you not know it's Wednesday night tags?
Yeah,
Excuse me,
exactly.
hey,
Right.
it's Wednesday.
Haven't you heard our podcast?
You live under a rock? Haven't you heard our podcast?
MCDG
We're going
podcast,
on
bro.
the Ellen show
Do you
next
even
week.
podcast, bro? No,
Actually, one night somebody hit an ace in a random group on Wednesday night, and they came through and they're like, I just hit an ace, and we gave them like a disc.
Nice.
Like, here's your prize, and they're like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
just
that's right.
Random guys coming through. They hit hole 12 at Seven Oaks, and
Really?
just like, hey, yeah, I just hit an ace. We're like, yeah, man, here's a disc.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you, man. Like you can find for yourself a lot of the great things about disc golf on your own. I mean, like you can find the benefit of the physical activity and the fitness aspect of it. You can find the just low impact kind of sporting activity, like for people that were involved in sports as at a younger age and have injuries that prohibit them from being competitive athletically. You can discover a lot of that stuff on your own, but I think, and I've talked about this before on the show, but I feel like the function of a club is to operate like a ladder, and it takes a person from just being exposed to disc golf and moving them through all the phases that disc golf can be.
Yes.
And you can get off the ladder at any time. I think disc golf can be and should continue to be whatever anybody wants it to be.
Absolutely.
As casual, as competitive as you want it to be. One of the things that you can't discover, really, or are very unlikely to discover on your own, is that about disc golf without a club, is the social community, the family of disc golf. Before I got involved with Music City Disc Golf, before I joined and started playing with the club, I stayed to myself pretty much for the most part, and I've got more friends than I can count.
How many cities? How many states? How many countries?
All over the world.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
especially through social
opens
media.
the key.
Yeah.
I mean, it opens the door. I'm sorry. Disc golf is the key that opens the door. I'm getting your.
No,
you
got it.
No, it's a key inside of a key.
It's a key inside of a key, but seriously,
it's like those magnanimous and phonetic and whatever words I said about him before the show. It's like I don't know what the words mean. They sound good.
They sound cool. It's going to work for this.
And I don't know what I would do without my disc golf family. You know, just like you, I may have been a little more to myself being a server. I get a chance to meet a lot of people, but those same people, they disappear that same day. Yeah. You know, I get to meet somebody, and all of a sudden I made this relationship within an hour. But then as soon as they leave, it's like a false memory. Like, why did I create a friendship with this table? My job is to serve tables, and I get to meet somebody, and all of a sudden they're gone. But with disc golf, you know, I play with you on the weekend. I play with you on the weekend, and I come back and I see you again. It's like, wow, we're doing something together. I actually like you guys. I want to come back and do it again. What else do we do? Oh, we're part of a podcast. Oh, we're part of a bag tag. We're part of a club. And when you get that feeling, you know, you feel a little more fulfilled as a person that, man, I got friends out here, people that care about me, not just, you know, he's doing good in disc golf. Like, hey, he's just coming out. You don't have to do great. You don't have to be the best. You can bring your dog. You can bring your kid.
Yeah.
Disc golf's amazing in that way.
That's right. And that's what's awesome about disc golf. And that's part of what really drew me in once I got connected with the Columbia Club.
Nice.
And that's also, like, I want more people to experience that. So that's also a big part of Flytco's mission, is to grow the sport, obviously. Like everybody says it. I really mean it. Like, I want to do everything I can to help bring more people into the fold and let them experience, you know, what we experience, because I think it's a great thing. Because, I mean, disc golf is for families, it's for singles, it's for couples, it's for elderly. Like, I mean, you can get up there, obviously, but
hey, they have senior legends division.
Some people, it's impressive.
At Worlds,
I guess a better question
it's impressive.
Who is disc golf not for?
Infants, maybe.
I mean,
but no, you throw them on your backpack thing, right? If you take it easy, you can wear them in your dabadoo.
They get that PDJ number,
right?
They get their firstborn, and then right after they're born,
early.
people are getting the PDJ number, so
they're teaching disc golf at Tennessee School for the Blind in their PE program.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's amazing. Yeah. So I want to see more of that, and I just want to open up. And that's another thing I'm hoping with the brand, with the kind of the outdoor aesthetic. I'm hoping to attract more of those people, those types, like the kayakers, the hikers, the bikers, the mountain climbers. I'm hoping to provide something for them where they feel like, there's disc golf. It's pretty cool. Like, it just kind of appeals to a different demographic. Like, I have a brother-in-law, for example, big fisherman, big huntsman. He plays. He doesn't really get into the club stuff, but man, I want something for that guy. I want him to come in and feel like, man, this is cool stuff. Like this is exactly, it matches up with other stuff I do in my life. Well, like I said, with the hiking and biking and all that stuff, it's just an extension of other outdoor stuff that's amazing.
You ever heard of the Bells Bend Festival, outdoor recreation festival? There's a Bells Bend Park. It's like,
that reminds me, I need to get on that email with my iPad and fill out that PDF agreement. But it's the Bells Bend Outdoor Expo, the Outdoor Recreation Festival and Expo, and we've set up a booth as Music City Disc Golf for the last several years.
That's a great idea.
But the entire space out in front of this building, and they just fill it completely with all these different outdoor vendors. You've got people selling kayaks, you've got trampolines, hammocks,
everything,
all this stuff, bikers, all this, everything.
Awesome.
And we set up a big putting course, like a 3-hole putting course.
Perfect. That's a great disc golf outreach. Like thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you remind me after we're done doing the show, I'll get you some information in case you'd be interested in.
It sounds like something I should take a look at.
We do several of those kind of things throughout the year, so
that's awesome.
If you're interested in jumping in on one, we can get you the info. For
Absolutely,
sure.
Stay in touch. You know how to get in touch.
Yeah. So you over this past week or two, lots of sponsorship news has dropped from several of our local retailers, and we were talking a lot last episode about the Nashville Disc Golf Store. You and Jay Marcus got picked up by the Nashville Disc Golf Store, and we mentioned Robert and Katie were picked up by Flytco. So there was a running joke. I saw a couple like kind of almost pretending or honorary trolling, saying like, well, congratulations to everybody for being sponsored by Flytco.
I saw that.
So tell us a little bit. I know that you've got several, much like a disc manufacturer, you've got several tiers to your team structure. You've got the Ridge team, the Summit team, kind of like Innova has Star and Champion and all that.
Exactly.
So,
and I didn't even fall into that. It wasn't when I put out, or sometime in January, I knew that this year is like I wanted to, just get this program going because I needed to do it, and I wanted people to be involved in a bigger way with Flytco. So I've created an application for people to apply. I had over 200 applications.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought maybe there would just be like one group or two groups, like maybe like a more upper tier group and like a more base level ambassador group. But once I got everything in there and I looked through every application, every single one, I didn't eliminate anybody based on rating criteria or anything like that. I looked through every single application, and that took days. But after going through all of that, it became clear to me, it's like I need more tiers instead of just two. And then I got to thinking of like, what can I name these things? I want to name them something adventure related or mountain related or something. And I went through several ideas, and then when I hit Summit, Peak, Ridge, and Base Camp, it just seemed to make sense. I was like, it just makes sense just thinking about it. So once I thought about that, or actually it came as a response to looking at the different levels of people that came in. That's where I went with it. I created 4 teams.
Okay.
We have the Summit team, which consists of 11 people, and those are more of our like touring pros. I mean, we don't have Macbeth and Wasaki yet or anybody, but we've got touring pros, and they're amazing, and that includes men and women, and they're some athletes. That jumped on board, and we're happy to have those guys. And then you have the Peak team, which is right below that. And the Summit team, by the way, is the people for the men. They're over 980 rated. I think Sam Lee's like 1014.
Nice.
And
while I was playing with my phone, did you mention who's on the Summit team? I know
didn't say
Robbie
exactly.
Burge. Okay.
So the Summit team is we got Sam Lee, Blake Thomas, and Zane Stafford, all from Mount Sterling, Kentucky. I don't know what's in the water there, but those guys are crushing it.
Sam Lee showed out at Ravenwood last year, the Music City Open.
I mean, when I pulled up, like I said, I looked at every application. I pulled up to people's PDGA. I saw what events they played, how they placed, as fast as I could, but as comprehensive as I could. And I see some of these people, I'm like, okay, real deal. All right. Easy decision as long as they're stand up and the people and they're maybe they have a little social media presence or something. Sam Lee, Blake Thomas, Zane Stafford, all from Kentucky, just crushing it. We've got you mentioned Donnie Wicks. Donnie Wicks is on the team. Hometown boy. And Bryson James from Georgia, and I think he's like a 1003, 1004 rated guy currently. Plays a ton of events. Evan Smith. Can't remember where he's from exactly. Maybe South Carolina or somewhere in there. This is all new to me. Like going through, I can't remember everything going through that application the first time. And then Seth Overbay, Quentin Becker, and Dallas Wrinkle rounds out the men. And then I have Emily Beach and Erica Weir, which are both Innova girls on upper level, and they're over 900 rated. And they're really.
Shout out to @DRink9.
Yes.
Yeah, DRink9. Yeah,
we love Dallas.
Follow that guy.
That guy was huge to us at Ravenwood, getting ready for MCO last year. He was on our work crew and was out there with us about all the time.
We'd be like, all right, throw this shot and see where the landing zone is.
Yeah, he was our test. He was our test pro. I was like, get this guy to throw it, see if they can make it over that.
Right. That's cool. So that's the 11 people that are on the Summit team,
Okay.
and I just think of Summit as like the tip top of the mountain.
Yeah.
There's nothing higher.
Yeah.
And then I created another team below that, a tier below that called the Peak team.
Okay.
And the Peak are the people that basically are knocking on that door of the Summit.
Yeah.
Peak could be any peak on the mountain range. Like,
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the Summit, but it's a peak. They're on a peak. So it made sense. There's 18 people on that team. And then they range for the men's for like 950 to 980.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, let me preface this, like rating wasn't a hard and fast criteria. There are people that were rated up there and they didn't get sorted into those teams.
Yeah.
I think that's the case with most teams.
Right. I looked at everything from their social media presence to their what contributions do they make to the disc golf community, to how they answered the questions in the application was a big one. Stuff like that.
Cool.
It was a big comprehensive look till I sorted out these teams, and it just sort of naturally fell into place by the end of the process.
Nice.
Which was a long process.
Yeah.
It was a bit to get through. So like I said, the peak team's like 950 to 980 for the men. The women's are like 825 to 900. Mm-hmm. And those are the people that are like just knocking on the door, like they're right there. They could be Summit team at any given point as they level up their game.
Yep.
And then the next thing down from that is the Ridge team.
Mm-hmm.
The Ridge team are the people that are kind of knocking on the door of the Peak team.
Yeah.
They're just a lot, but it's a mix. The Ridge team is kind of a special team.
Okay.
It not only consists of people that are just almost about Peak team when it comes to rating and their how they do there, but it also consists of some people that I wanted to recognize as of and put them on the Ridge team because they are huge contributors to the disc golf community. It includes people that own and run courses. There's a disc golf photographer that runs around taking pictures of the PGA Tour.
Nice.
What else? There's a guy out in Milan, Tennessee, Mo Chandler, I think is his name. He for like 30 or 40 years has been the guy out there that got their course built and then got it expanded to 18 holes, and so that's what I'm trying to say with the Ridge team. There's some people on there that they don't have that big rating, but they show up for disc golf in a big way.
Hard work and disc golf.
So I brought them into that, and then you have the base camp team, and it's kind of self-explanatory. Base camp is like my base level ambassadors. It's kind of like. It's kind of like when you look at Innova, like you said before, they have those different tiers and they name them different things. The base camp's kind of the jumping off point. They had some that's just where they've made sense to sort them into there. Nice. And every team has a place and a role in this and the big picture and means a lot to the brand and to Flytco.
Nice.
That's that's a really ambitious roster that you have too. So I mean, like that's just awesome that you're doing things like that to support promising disc golfers. Because I know, like, looking at the list of people that made your team, I can't think of anybody that would have anything bad to say about any of those guys or girls.
Yeah. I did the best I could with, obviously I know the people in my immediate community, and I know some people in the immediate surrounding community. Nice. And I was definitely very careful. I just tried to be, think about character as much as I could. It's very important. I mean, you have somebody that's going to represent you. They need to represent humankind in a good way. Obviously, I can't look deeply into other people, like, because there's people from across the nation and even across the world. Like I had 212 applications. We had definitely coast to coast, Canada. We had people from Norway, Scotland, Malaysia. Like, as you can name it.
That's crazy how just to think about.
Right,
like how they find out about it. Like,
right, we're in the future.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's the interwebs,
the World Wide Web,
the World Wide Web. So I've grown. It was a mission at first to grow throwing it back to something we were talking about earlier. We mentioned how Flytco started from just trying to create a PDF that was like a how-to guide. I just wanted to put everything in one instead of having to go to 1,000 videos. I just want to put it all in one PDF so beginners could like get this. Nice. I just didn't find that when I was starting and wanted to know the fundamentals. But then it became like, I think I can do a backpack. So actually, the first idea was to create a disc golf backpack that was nice and rugged and really fit the brand, and the brand just kind of snowballed into what it's become today. And then it became like, well, I'm going to lead with an apparel brand. Like I'm going to grow the social media and. just see if people are as excited about this as I am.
Yeah.
And I think that's shown to be true. And I wanted to kind of prove itself as a brand first before I made the big investment into bags or, I mean, who knows, maybe even discs down the road. That's not on the immediate docket for things to do.
Yeah.
But I can say the next thing on the list for sure is trying to get some backpacks under the brand.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think that'll
maybe
really,
this year or
I hope to have that to by the MCO.
I think you should do glasses.
Glasses?
Yeah, because people always lose them. You can keep selling them.
Right? Shades? Right? People tell you see them hanging up on the edge of the basket and stuff right there.
It's free.
I mean, why
they're
not?
They're going to lose it.
It's a piece of apparel.
Someone's going to find it, and they're like, oh, man, look at these Flytco. What? Where do you get these glasses from?
Well, hey, I just saw
That's right.
Zach Melton.
I could do it.
Zach Melton was looking for a glasses sponsor today.
Right. I'm making a note right now.
You know, I have one good idea
reach out
per
to
day.
Zach Melton.
Yeah.
And
Just
he
don't
was
know which
sponsored
one's
by
a good
Shady
idea.
Rays.
Yeah, I just don't want to waste it, you know.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's kind of how it morphed into what it is today. It was
Nice.
a PDF. Then it was like hey, I can make some backpacks. And it was like, hey, let's just lead with apparel.
Yeah.
See where this thing goes. And then now sponsoring a team.
That's
getting some people out there. And I should mention I think there's 95 people total
Okay.
across all the teams.
Yeah.
And it's what you would think too. There's like 11 people in Summit, and I have the list here. There's like 18 in Peak, 29 in Ridge, and 37 in Base Camp.
Yeah.
And they are. And if you're local to this area, it feels like, oh, everybody's in this area because you see their social media.
Yeah.
They're in your. That's how Facebook and Instagram puts it in your
Yeah.
feed. It's like
Yeah.
they're near you, so they show you.
right.
But in reality, it's spread across the nation. And these guys that applied overseas, that's something I'm trying to figure out how to work, because I don't have a warehouse overseas, so shipping is like out of control.
Yeah.
Until I could get like a warehouse situated there where I can ship from.
Yeah.
So it's all these things going through my head. I got so much big plans for Flytco.
Good problems to have, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know you're being a photographer. Do you have any kind of plans rumbling around in your head about producing promotional content? Because I know that all your imagery looks really good, and the whole sponsorship model, particularly when you're talking about players and a company that are all from the same geographical regional area. You're a smaller company. You operate in a kind of a more defined area, and that relationship is really, really symbiotic and by design is beneficial for both people. It's good promotion for the players. It's great promotion for your brand.
Right.
You align with yourself with the in particular people for that reason.
Right.
So we're going to look forward to YouTube channel, a bunch of videos. You're going to try and...
So much of that stuff is in my head. If I could execute everything that was in my head in the next 2 weeks, I feel like it would just blow up.
Yeah.
I would have so many big ideas for Flytco, but YouTube channel, maybe. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's where this is headed. I mean, I'm not in this as a hobby. Like, I want this to be something for people to really get behind, and I want to do all those things to really be there for the people that are connecting with the brand.
So, do you have a team, or kind of like
it's me.
People work with you?
It's me.
Myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. My wife is very integral actually. Shout out to Melanie.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Thanks for letting us borrow your
Not on the couch tonight. But I mean, actually, we were a husband and wife photographer team.
Yeah.
So a lot of the initial stuff that we created wasn't created by the graphic designer. The very first stuff that anybody may have seen out on the course that would maybe have had a sign up was something she did.
Yeah.
And even when I get the stuff from the graphic designer, she's able to take it the next step and create all this promotional material for me. So like write down people that may have gotten orders shipped to their house of the hoodies and stuff. I had a little thank you card in there and had some pictures and stuff, and a picture of my family and some stuff. But she's the one that pieced all that together to make it look the way it looked, and we ordered it from a company that we used to use as photographers for our promotional material.
Nice.
But she's very integral in the growth of this company and everything really.
Nice.
Like she's my sidekick.
Nice.
But I mean, eventually I'm going to have a team. It's going to come down to I have to have a team. Right now, I do use a third party shipping, drop shipping kind of service, because there's absolutely no way I could fulfill and package every one of these orders and get them out and still grow the brand.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a lot of
you gotta have time to eat.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
you gotta have time to eat. That's right.
Well, I can tell you, man.
And I like eating.
The only reason that we have the awesome, when we do produce like good content like this podcast, the only reason we're doing this right now with video and good mics and all that stuff is because Marcus came and had the space, and he was interested in doing the job that we had said that if we can make upgrades to it, it needs to be like this. And Marcus presented it to us. And it's like the same thing when we have a really dope video come out. It's because somebody like Levi Gibson or Colin White or Gary Searcy was like, hey, I'll bring my drone, I'll bring my cameras, we'll do this video. And, you know, so as you start to dip your toes into those waters, reach out to us if there's anything that we can help you promote with this platform, or put you in touch with somebody that's come to our assistance. We're definitely happy to pass on those connections for sure.
Thank you for that.
The more we all work together, the better things are for everybody.
That's right. I mean, it's I think we can keep growing. Disc golf is like out of control growing, and I think it's only like we've just begun.
You know, and disc golf made that happen.
I think so.
You know, back to earlier, you know, disc golf makes a lot of things happen, not just the actual sport, but just bringing people together. And this is another example, a good example.
Yeah, just like in this room right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the first time me and you've been able to have any kind of a long form
sometimes
conversation.
Tournaments can be busy, especially if you're running them.
And I've been talking to you for like 2 years.
That's right. Yeah, it's been all Facebook Messenger stuff for the most part. Yeah,
making connections.
But that's we wouldn't be here for not disc golf, and we get to hang out and have this awesome
chat. Otherwise, it probably never would have connected. I don't know. Yeah. But I want to throw it back to imagery real quick, because I want to give a quick shout out to Chris Palmer out in Arkansas. He's been a supporter of the brand from the beginning.
Nice.
He's a big fisherman. He lives in the Ozarks out there. So you may have noticed a few pictures that look like holy moly, like commercial.
Yeah.
Like the girl with the Flytco shirt out in like Las Vegas, and the Red Rocks overlooking the canyon.
Yeah, I was some of those. I'm like, okay, this is.
I've had somebody ask me the other day. I was like, did you just Photoshop that on somebody out there? No, that's a real picture, and that's somebody. He's actually on the peak team. I mean, he's actually a stand-up disc golfer, talented dude. Yeah. He doesn't get to play a lot because he's got kids. They travel baseball, and they like to do other things like fish and hunt and camp out and stuff. But even that, then that camp out picture from the other day with the kid wearing the Flytco beanie by the fire, that's his kid. Yeah, and that's his wife in the pictures, and his name's Chris Palmer. I really thank him for all the imagery he's created for me. Like, I send him stuff, and he just takes pictures, and it's awesome, and it turns out looking exactly like what if I were to go out and do a commercial shoot myself and be in one of those places. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I would do. That's awesome, and I love having that. But I will be creating some stuff on my own. Like I said, we're photographers, so that's just right around the corner. I'm gonna get some stuff together, and I said, it's time for me to start creating some more promotional material it's besides what he produced, to keep cycling through the social media and the website and stuff like that.
What about those make a Flytco shirt that are like those fishing shirts that are vented? Oh yeah, you know, got those pockets.
I do see a lot of guys rocking those.
I don't know,
for
can you play disc golf pretty well? No, I don't know, but
don't be that guy.
UV protection.
Buy a bag. Buy a Flytco bag.
I've got
Well, hey guys,
this is where towards that bag.
I've got all kinds of stuff that I want to riff on with y'all.
All right,
let's go.
We've got Scott Stokely who is going to join us for a little bit. He's running around in Tennessee.
Oh,
and he's teaching some people some disc golf, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about where he's at, where he's going to be, and who can get a hold of him, and how to get a private lesson.
All right, let's do it.
That's huge.
Take a quick break, and we'll talk to Scott for a minute.
Nice.
I was in the drive-thru line at McDonald's. The kid behind the counter, he said, "Well, thank you. Have a nice day, sir." And I just about grabbed him through the window and punched him.
I believe it. I forgot to hit one of the record buttons, so we're on with Scott Stokely. What's up, Scott?
Wait, did we get that Sir story?
Yeah, Sir Scott Stokely joining us.
Sir Scott.
No,
hey,
sir,
Scott,
our ice cream machine is broken. No,
Mr. Scott Stokely.
No, we talked a little bit before we got you on, Scott. You're running around the South teaching people how to play disc golf gooder. So where are you at in the world tonight?
Well, right this second, I am in Knoxville, Tennessee. I am traveling around the country doing private lessons full time. I actually did 102 lessons in Texas in January.
Wow.
I had 26 days of 4 lessons a day, except 2 days I had 3. That was too much. I won't do that again. But in February, I did about 70 in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Now I'm heading up to Tennessee. Then I'll be off to North Carolina, Georgia, shooting up to Virginia. So that's my gig.
That's awesome. So
thank you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, are you doing the RV life travel or staying at people's houses, Airbnb?
No, I'm at an Airbnb right now. I'm at a beautiful Airbnb right on the lake in Knoxville. Nice. It's awesome. I've been with people everywhere, so I do stay with friends, hotels. No RV though. I thought about it, but I don't want to lug around an RV too much.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment, maintenance. They're always breaking down. Gas guzzlers.
Yeah.
So, you passed just through the south of us. I think you were in Columbia just recently. I think you did a lesson with our friend Bethel Barrett.
That's right.
I'm going to say yes and act like I remember, but I mean...
He made a post.
Yeah.
I try to book my schedule when I'm doing lessons for 4 lessons a day, and it does just kind of blur together. So, I mean, when I'm with the person, I'm completely present with them, and they have my undivided attention, and I make their games better, and they throw farther, and all that great stuff. But it blurs together, the people, for sure.
Yeah. So you've had pretty good success so far. I've seen a lot of posts from people posting up on Facebook talking about what a great lesson they had with you, what a good teacher you are, how much they enjoyed it. And you and I had talked a little bit about you coming through Nashville. What's the timeline on that looking like these days?
It was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. I missed you.
Nice.
Yeah, I was, it's a blur.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know I was supposed to reach out to you guys. And I know we talked about doing something before I got there. And, it's so but to do my 4 lessons a day, which takes about 8 hours, an hour and a half lessons, but I block off 2 hour slots. I spend about 4 to 5 hours total marketing. Posting videos, posting on social media, answering emails, phone calls, scheduling, messaging, refunding, all the stuff that comes with running a business. So it's doing 12-hour days right now to do what I'm doing. Not complaining, but it's not it's
work, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I know that you're really focusing on the private lessons, and I'm sure that that's probably both due to it being in your wheelhouse. Do you feel like that's a better way as opposed to doing clinics? Like, do you enjoy more getting one-on-one time with somebody and really being able to break apart their game and kind of work with one person on an individual basis, or are you?
So doing a clinic, it's kind of akin to a YouTube video. You put up information, you show people what to do, but it doesn't mean you're teaching them how to do it. There's a big gap there.
Yeah.
I always kind of joke it's not a knock on the people making these, a lot of really wonderful YouTube videos, but it doesn't mean that they've taught how to play disc golf. You can break down a pro and say, this is when his foot goes here. That's not teaching someone how to play that. You don't know anything about teaching unless you've actually, been in the trenches with people. So, I mean, what I've done, 170 lessons already this year. And when you work one-on-one, I get to see firsthand, when I do this, they're able to adapt it. When I do this, they're not. When I do this, some people are more effective. When I do this, everyone's more effective. And by the way, I've been doing this a lot longer than this year.
Yeah.
But the ability to teach people, I'm at a level that I don't think anybody in the world's at, just because this is what I'm doing. You get better over time.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. Someone throws 180-foot sidearms, now they threw a 330. Someone can't hit a line to save their life, now they're hitting lines, and it's that wouldn't happen from a clinic. A little bit, not really.
And obviously, you've been teaching for quite some time, so this is you've probably got your whole approach. Do you feel like you can pretty much identify where somebody's having hiccups or flaws in their form right off the bat? You watch them throw once or twice.
First of all, I'll tell you everything they're doing wrong. There's a correct way to throw. There's a variety of techniques out there, back up. There's a variety of styles out there, but the core mechanics are the same. It's kind of like what's his name? Djokovic used to do it on the pro tennis tour, where he could do impressions of all the different players' serves, and you could identify if it was Federer or Rafa, whatever.
Yeah.
But the core mechanics of the serve, they're all doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
same thing. The core mechanics of throwing a disc correctly there's a right and a wrong way to do things. So what I typically do is, even if you're a more experienced player, I just start from the ground up, and I have a process by which we're going to do this step, add this step, we're going to add this, we're going to go back, we're going to stay as long as we need to in one area until you get it. Far more effective than just watching someone and going, oh, okay, your plant foot should go here, or you're be more upright there. I'm not saying that's not effective, but it's kind of like that's putting out little fires as opposed to fireproofing the house, right?
Yeah.
We go from the ground up. We, meaning me, goes from the ground up, step by step, and when you're done, you have the mechanics, and then then you're good. I mean, you can throw well. It's pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah. And do you usually find a local course, or just do open field, or sometimes play a couple holes, or?
No, we never. It's always. Well, I do it at a course because people know where the course is. I don't ever do it on the course itself. It's always. Yeah. I mean, I could give two shits what happens to the disc 50 feet after the course.
Yeah.
It's like if you were going out taking ball golf lessons there, and you were on a hole, you could hit a shot and be like, hey, it landed on the green. Isn't that a great shot, PGA pro coach? And they're going to be like, no, your swing was terrible. You go
for sure.
Off the ball, and they'll be like, that was correct, right? It's just mechanics.
Yeah.
Once you learn those correct mechanics, then you have to go out and do it. But your ceiling's raised, and you're good. I mean, you can identify a good player a lot of times just by watching them throw. Someone with good form throws well. I mean, you ask the question like how is it that this 15-year-old kid's out there? He's been playing for 4 months. He's throwing 400 feet.
Yeah.
Well, watch his form. If he's got correct form, that's physics. You know. Sorry, I don't want to travel on, but there's a video.
No, that's good.
No, absolutely.
There's a video on my Facebook page. It's fantastic. About 20 posts back. You got to dig for it. But I was working with a 62-year-old woman in Corpus Christi, and it's a great story. So I get out to the course. She's been playing about a year, once a week with her husband, and she stands at the end of the tee pad and she throws it like 50 feet. Doesn't know where it's going to go, but likes to get out and walk around the park. They want to do a lesson, right? She's 62 years old. And I walked up and I basically said, okay, we're going to teach you how to do a run up. We're going to teach you the X step. We're going to teach you the proper run up. And she's like, has this scared look on her face. She's like, no, I just want to stand there and throw. And I said, well, that's fine. If you want to just stand there and throw, that's, but there's nothing for me here. And I started to walk away. And she's like, wait, no, come back. And I said, look, I promise you, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm the best in the world at this. I will have you doing a run up the proper form in the next 20 minutes. Your mind. She's like she didn't believe me. We went out and it took about 12 minutes. And this is it's on the results are on the video.
Yeah.
This 2-year-old woman, after 12 minutes, I said, would you please demonstrate the X steps? He goes, bam, bam, plant throw, throws it about 200 feet on a rope. And
nice.
the crowd would just look on her face like she just can't believe it.
Yeah.
And it's physics. I mean, she may never throw 300. She may cap out at 250 or something, but for her, where she's at, that's going to be fantastic. She can actually enjoy the game of disc golf now, not like before she was just walking in the park throwing frisbees. Now she's actually shaping shots, hitting lines. There's holes she can burst. There's holes she could get a hole in one on a short hole now. Hits it. And so now, this thing that was just kind of exercise has become a sport for her.
Nice.
But it's all because with the proper mechanics, the physical laws of the universe apply to her just as they apply to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's got game. She can throw.
Yeah, that's incredible too. I mean, being able to, because I've always wondered if it's how it is for women to learn from a man, you know what I mean? Or when we have, a lot of times we'll have one of the touring pro ladies will come through town and we'll have a clinic and a lot of guys will come out and learn from them. And I've always wondered if there's a lot of if there's anything that's lost in translation between, just in the instructional method between look.
No, this is where I start when I work with women. The first thing I tell them is the same physics apply to you that apply to a guy, that apply to a child, that apply to an adult, that apply to an amateur, that apply to a pro. We're the same game. I have this huge pet peeve against teaching, women primarily, for some reason, are often taught to stand at the end of the pad and just throw. Don't do a run-up. And basically, in parentheses is the sentence, because you're a girl. right? I mean, it's so stupid. Like a girl can't learn a 3-step run up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you know, the girl's brother would never be taught to do that, right? It's so stupid. It's 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. It's a 4 count. It's 1, 2, plant, throw. But that's the correct way to throw. Teaching it incorrectly because someone's new is wrong. And there are people that say, well, you're supposed to teach this way or that way. And my response is, my apologies for being arrogant response, go teach 103 people in a month how to play disc golf, and then tell me that this is a better approach, because this is all I do. The correct form is not hard to learn. 1, 2, 3, X step, pull the back straight, keep your weight centered, let your head turn back with the disc, don't bounce as your head level to the ground, pull the disc in a. We're not talking about ballroom. We're talking about 1, 2, 3. Not that. I mean, it's not easy, but it's at the highest level.
Yeah, I think you had described it once. It's not easy, but it's simple. I think that was a way that I had seen you frame it once before. Yeah.
Try putting in ball golf. It's really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
The mechanics are incredibly simple, right? You got one working part. You know, I mean, there's more working parts in disc golf. So this is what happens. This is what will happen in a lot of sports. I mean, this will happen in martial arts. This will happen in shooting pool. I mean, all these different sports. The game is more and more complex. The technique and the mechanics they get more and more complex until you get to the highest level, and they get simpler and simpler and simpler. And again, highest level, there's so fewer working parts and so fewer things to think about. I actually have to remind people, I say, look, I'm not dumbing it down for you because you're an amateur. I'm simplifying it for you, which is me teaching you the highest level of the game. The highest level of the game is simple. Now, executing, time, practice, dedication, touring, being shallow, not having other hobbies. I mean, there's a lot involved in getting great at something, but mechanics is simple.
Yeah.
Are you doing any playing in tournaments, or are you just?
No. I'm playing in the Texas States at the end of the month. I'm entering the GBO, Canadian Nationals.
Nice. I
played one tournament this year. I went out to Greg Barsby's tournament. I won the Masters division. I would have actually won Open.
Nice.
I've completed one tournament round this year. I shot a 10:39. So technically, I'm averaging 10:39 for the year, which is pretty nifty. I might not play again all year just so I can end my year. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a reasonable strategy.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of like here's another strategy of mine. So I played in the Open division against Eagle McMahon one time, and I beat him. And Joe Revere finished first. He ran away with it. Eagle probably played the worst tournament of his life, and I played pretty well. I am never going to play another tournament in Eagle's division again, and I will have a winning record against Eagles for the rest of my life.
There you go.
Smart.
Since I've been TDing like 20 events a year for the last 3-4 years, it's my PDGA rating just keeps getting better and better the more rounds fall off my rating.
Good point.
Yeah.
So, by the way, this is what you do when you're old. When you're old, you have to skew reality, lie to yourself, and then believe the lies you tell yourself. Don't kill yourself because you're getting old. So I got these little things. I'm I believe. Every time I go into a restaurant, I absolutely believe the waitress is flirting with me. Every single time, and because I believe it, I don't want to kill myself for turning 50. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, by the way, if you hear somebody talking and you can't see them, it's because Skype's only got one of our cameras, and then we've actually got two guys on another camera. Our host/producer, Marcus Rogers. You can say hi so he can hear your voice.
Scott, how you doing?
And then we've got Bradford Watson from Flytco Disc Golf Company over here too.
Hey.
Yeah.
So.
Mr. Scott.
You can't hear. I got a whole room full of groupies. You just can't see them. They're just, they're.
Right.
I thought I heard
that. I assumed that.
I thought I heard some chatter.
See what I'm saying? I lie to myself, then I believe it.
And then you believe it.
Okay. That's right. It becomes your reality.
Visualize an attack.
I got a question for Scott.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always advocated I guess I've always tried to help people get grow their game. So one thing I've said to people, and first of all, thanks for even taking a chance to listen to me ask this question. You are a professional at your sport, and I'm really, really nervous asking this, but here I go. I always have told people, no matter what advice I give you, it may make your game a little bit worse at first, but when it clicks, it's going to stick and make you better.
I tell everybody when they start, right when we start, I go, hey, my favorite part of this whole lesson, can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, because I want to quote myself, because I say this every lesson, is that after we start, I go, so my favorite part is I'm going to fuck your game up for the next 20 minutes.
Okay, that's what I'm 100%. Saying. Yes, okay.
It's like that with all sports.
I really appreciate that.
It's going to be really awkward at first.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it feels awkward.
You're taking a step backwards to take 3 forward. Because, yeah, you're screwing with timing. You're screwing with all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. Now, there are things that doesn't, it's not an overall rule or doesn't apply to everything. There are things where when someone is doing something, I say, okay, you're going to do this and you're going to shit yourself in about 30 seconds when you see what happens. And they're like, oh my God. But overall, that's not necessarily the case. You may change anything, you're going backwards. But, you paid me, it's a leap of faith. But I think that's why I do an hour and a half instead of an hour. Like, I've done this long enough to know that enough times the miracle happens between 60 and 90 minutes. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes we always get there in 90. And in fact, one of the things I do on the lesson is, because they're meant to be one-offs, is at the end of every lesson, I shoot a video where I recap everything we worked on with the player, because we covered so much.
Yeah.
We want to make sure the person can reference back everything we worked on, next week, next month. That way they don't need another lesson. They have all the information. So one of the rules is slightly bad shots just happen. Bad shots never just happen. There's no such thing as a bad shot that just happened. There's something mechanical that went wrong if you have a very errant throw. And so one of the things we identify is, when this happens, here's why. When you pull the hyzer, when you pull a shot 10 degrees to the right with hyzer, it's because you dipped at the end of the throw. Look at where your arm's going when you do this. Now you know when that happens, you're not going, God, why'd that happen again? You actually know what to do to change. That's fine. Keep your weight above your hip, final throw, and it won't happen. So a lot of what I'm doing is giving you those tools so you can make adjustments to your game later on. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating in the world. I mean, people will talk about how, like, they're having a bad round and they keep missing to the right. They keep missing their putts to the right.
Yeah.
That oh my God. I mean, that's got to be the most paralyzing anxiety you could have. Like, I don't know why this keeps happening. I will tell you why it's happening based on your throw. So at least you have the ability to go, I can make an adjustment. Doesn't mean you'll make the next shot, but at least you're not sitting there just crossing your fingers hoping you don't miss right next. That's a terrible thing.
Right. Yeah, I can speak to experience there. That is terrible anxiety to have.
Golfers miss putts? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Then you try to compensate, and then you actually do it correctly, and then you're missing the other way, and then you really don't know what's going on.
Well, and that's one of the reasons that we've got Scott on tonight, too, is so anybody that's watching, anybody that watches the podcast can understand. We want to communicate to you that it is the value of having an experienced professional who's been involved in this game for as long as Scott has, or somebody like him, give you these kind of lessons on a one-on-one basis. You can't really quantify that value. And I think, and I always try to tell people, if they ever ask me, like, what would be your best advice for a beginning disc golfer, a totally new disc golfer? And I'd be like, find a pro, whether it's somebody local or somebody that you can access on the road, and pay for a private lesson. Because if you're new and you haven't learned all these bad habits, learning the foundations and the fundamentals from somebody that knows what they're talking about at that stage will allow you to bypass so much of the trial and error kind of process of getting better at disc golf.
It is, and you got to be careful though, because just the same way you can build on bad techniques, not everybody who can play disc golf can teach it. It's
right.
Like when you watch YouTube videos, like, I mean, this is kind of the complaint across the modern world with all this, anything, like, anybody can make a YouTube video. Anybody can make a YouTube video with high production value.
Yeah, sure.
It's can be challenging, but I mean, there's some bad information out there. And actually, what's really funny is what I say.
Epic fail.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is with all those bad YouTube instructional videos out there, I'm the only person in the world making money off them. Right? It's like these videos exist, and people are like, "Well, I saw the video said to do this," and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be fun. In about 45 seconds, you're going to throw 60 feet farther," because that's nonsense. Teaching is just wrong. And by the way, it's not because I'm smarter. It's not even because I'm. It's just experience. When I say do this, and the person doesn't throw better, and I say do that, and they do, and then the next person this, then that worked again, and then all of a sudden I'm several hundred people in, and 100% of people that I make this change to throw better. It's not that I'm smarter. It's that I have data that says that works and that doesn't.
Yeah.
This is where it's like people make YouTube videos. It doesn't mean they know how to teach. It means they know how to, a lot of times, break down the form of a professional player or players. And maybe a lot of these people break down pro form far better than I do. They can tell you more about when those things happen during the throw than I do. They're much more knowledgeable than me. Doesn't mean they know how to teach. Not the same thing,
Yeah.
And I think I don't mean to come across arrogant. It's this, you have to be very careful what you're watching online, because there's bad information or good information taught poorly, which is just frustrating,
Yeah, and I think it's probably good to point out that a key focal point of what you're saying is that there are differences in techniques that can all work, but there is a fundamental core group in the form category that there's correct and there's incorrect. And because I've seen, you see all the pros do clinics from time to time, and when you have personal conversations with them, everybody's got an opinion on the teaching style of this person or that person. And one thing that, like, if you look at somebody like if you were to look from behind the T-pad, mirror image, and you've got Eric Oakley on one T-pad and Kevin Jones on the other T-pad, and it's like two totally opposite images, because Eric reaches real far out in front of him before he drives. Kevin, you almost don't see his arm move until after his release. It's like he pulls across his body and his arm's sticking out real far to the right. Whereas, your average throw drive from professional, you're seeing your pretty standard X step, pull through in front of your chest, and follow through. It's our circular rotation. It's just those two angles of their throws look so exaggerated, and a lot of people are like, wow, I can't believe that works. And there's I think a consensus among people that are trying to learn through things like YouTube videos and stuff is that, well, all this advice is good, but everybody's going to do it a little bit differently. So I think it's good that there's somebody that's out there actually showing, no, there is a certain amount of this that you need to do it a certain way.
Exactly.
But still
same thing. So a lot of it is a lot of players can overcome flaws in their technique. Doesn't mean that's the correct way to do it.
Yep.
If pulling the disc back straight gets you to point A, pulling it back at an angle and swinging around with practice can get you to point A. Well, it doesn't mean that there's an advantage to taking a more difficult route to get to point A. Just because that person does it and they've overcome this flaw, the net gain is zero, because you pull the disc straight back, you can get where you want to 100% of the time. Best case scenario, if you're not pulling back in a straight line, is best case scenario, you get there 100% of the time. With enough practice and diligence and technique and coordination, you eventually get to where you would be if you just pulled straight back. Your net gain is zero. So it doesn't mean it's right. It just means that someone's overcome that part of their technique.
Do you have different advice for players who are tall or short?
No, all the same laws of physics apply.
Cool.
What about putting? It seems like putting has the most different styles.
Yeah.
And, obviously straddle and straight on. And do you teach certain styles or kind of work with people as long as they have the correct technique for putting?
Yeah. So the thing about putting is there is variety, more variety. I'll plug my phone in. Give me 1 second. There is a much more variety in putting technique, and I do think that can be a little bit more personal. But there are some rules that apply no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you want to putt from your center, try throwing darts from out here versus here. If you putt from your center, it's more.
Yeah.
There's one. Okay, I'll give you an example. So with putting, I rarely start from scratch. I talked about starting from scratch with the backhand and especially sidearm. Oh my God, if people sidearm are silly. We start from scratch. With putting, I don't say, hey, let's start. There's a correct putting stroke. Either we haven't figured it out yet, or, well, actually, even if there was a correct putting stroke, if you play somewhere that's windy versus somewhere that's not windy, you're going to have two different putting strokes, right? So, but there's some rules that apply. Like, for example, the single most important rule in all of disc golf throwing technique, I believe this is going to be on the Mount Rushmore of disc golf throwing technique rules. But the first one on the left is that when you putt, okay, you don't shake hands with the basket. You putt from your center, you leave your hand out in front, and then you leave your hand there till the disc gets to the basket. You do not putt and then pull your hand away. You do not putt and do this. You do not putt. All right? That is so black and white. Everything's 180 degrees. I don't care if it's a push putt, turbo putt, or not push putt, but push putt, spin putt, straddle putt. You go 180 degrees opposite to the basket. You push towards the basket. You leave your hand out so the disc gets to the basket.
Like a basketball player after a free throw. Leave their hand.
Yeah, you just say shooting out of the phone booth. That's what they used to say.
Like a ball golfer leaving their head down and letting their caddy watch their putt. Like a player striking through the ball, and then it's a second or two later before they lift their cue. When amateur hits the ball, it pops their cue up, right? So other people to figure this out. It's an exaggeration, but that is an exaggeration you want to do. When the disc is halfway to the basket and they're taking a picture of you for the Disc Golfer magazine, your hand is not over here. That's not right. So like there are some rules. I don't care what your putting technique, you got to do that.
That's essentially follow through for a putt, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly. It's follow through. But if you exaggerate it, leave your hand out till the disc gets to the basket, you can never fudge on it. I'll give you another one. Where there's not you can't teach her right or wrong. So when you take your putting stance, there's always a question about, well, should your foot be pointed this way? Do you point your toe here? Do you point your toe there? I think that's a nonsense argument because just look at the way 10 people stand in a line. People's feet point different directions. Our hips are different. We're centered different. Our knees bow. There can't be a correct foot placement for every player. That's silly. However, I do think there is one rule when it comes to stance that applies to everybody. If you just rock back and forth, forward and back, not purposely towards the basket, but if you're rocking forward and back and the target is here and your rocking is going over here, that cannot be correct. There's no way that your rocking motion goes 12 degrees left of the basket of where you're trying to putt. There's no way that could be the correct stance for you. Now you can change that just by changing your foot placement. So not your foot placement, but the angle of your toes. You're not changing your stance. You're not changing your putt. You're not changing your lead, your balance, your form, anything. But by simply changing your toes, now when you rock back and forth, your rocking is going towards the target. It's like you can't even argue that that's not correct.
Yeah.
So those are things that I say those are fixed rules, no matter what you do. Now, should you do a push putt or a spin putt? I'm not wired to. I have my feelings. I think one is slightly better than the other, but I don't even want to say because I'm not wired to it. If you're one.
Well, and you can't take into consideration different circumstances too. Like in a hypothetical situation, some things do call for a spin putt versus a push putt, or vice versa. It's funny that you mentioned the toes angle and everything like that because I was practice putting at Seven Oaks one time down by hole 11.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there putting, and Rodney came up off a 10, and he was getting something out of his bag, standing there by the bench, and he was kind of looking at me. And he goes, "You throwing at that basket?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Why are your toes pointed over that way?"
But the thing is, so I think they're half right, which is like he's talking about your direction's wrong, but I don't believe it's where your toes point.
Yeah.
Because we have this just comes from experience where I've tried to put people in certain positions and their bodies just don't want to line up that way.
Yeah.
Just don't go that way. So therefore, I figured out it's not where your toes are pointing, it's where you're going to be rocking.
Yeah.
And more effective. And so, but again, like I said, that's nothing but experience. I did it for years. I didn't have it right. I mean, I had most of it right, but I'm getting better every day still. I'm the best in the world at this. I know for a fact that nobody's doing what I'm doing right now. but it doesn't mean that I was the best in the world at this like forever. It just means that this is all I do now, and this is all I think about. I eat, sleep, and live.
Yeah. I have a question for you, real quick, before we kind of wrap things up. But how do you feel about jump putting or step putting? Because I remember early on in my game, been playing for maybe a year to 2 years, and you see everybody in videos step putting, jump putting, or whatever, and it's always a topic of discussion anytime the rules change on it, or there's a new way to describe the rule or a new way of phrasing. But Ed Birdie, I was playing. It was right before the first time I ever played Bowling Green AMs, and I was out in Bowling Green with Ed Birdie and Curtis Shriver, and we played 3 different courses that day. And I was step putting, and he told me, he was like, stand and deliver. I was obviously not doing anything good with my jump putts, but he was like, stand and deliver. He's like, there's too many variables when your body is moving that much. Your whole body is determining what you can do with your arm and, painting the line and all that stuff. He's like, just stand and deliver.
I guess on top of that, what I say, you can jump putt outside of the required or 33 feet, but I don't think you should be. 45 maybe, but I think you should be able to putt also from 35 feet, from 40 feet, just like you can putt from 30 feet.
Yeah, just like
be honestly, honest.
You see, like a lot of people, like a lot of things that people do. You see a lot of good pros jump putting, like doing huge jump putts, and they do it well. But like he said, just because doesn't mean it's right.
That's right.
So what would your advice be to somebody? Jump putt or no jump putt?
Yeah, so the way I look at jump putting, it's evolved a way that's differently than I saw it, because we kind of like were innovating these putts back in the day, and I've always looked at it. What's called a jump putt is just a falling putt. It's just a putt where you're driving more with your legs, but in order to get to the basket, you're driving so hard with your legs that you're not able to maintain balance, forcing you to step forward as a falling putt. So it doesn't really change the putt. You're just not requiring yourself to keep your balance. Right. But honestly, the way I feel about it, this is going to turn some people off to the lesson. So all the people that are thinking about getting lessons, 20% of them aren't going to do it now because of what I'm about to say. But when people say to me, they go, so tell me, like, what's the trick to making 50-foot putts? And my response to them is, don't 3-putt. I could give 2 shits about 50-foot putts. This is what I say. I say, if I coach you every single day for an entire year, we would work on 50-footers on June 23rd for 8 minutes. Like, but it's true. The game takes place inside the circle. All good drives land inside the circle. Approaches are in the circle. Comeback putts are in the circle. Of the shots that don't land in the circle, a good percentage of them hit something early and didn't land just outside the circle. Yeah. Every once in a while, you have a shot out that's outside the circle by a little bit. But if you're bad at those, you make 10%. If you're good at those, you make 18%. That's once around, blah, 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 blah. Okay, every 6 rounds, that's worth a stroke.
All right. Yeah.
Like, do the math. It's not. Now, it doesn't mean a stroke every 6 rounds doesn't count, but it means the amount of time that you spend working on those, trying to get that 1 stroke every 6 rounds, versus put that time into making your 25-footers, you will score better by focusing on the 25-footers. So, yeah, the secret to those putts is don't 3-putt. Now, at the highest level, when you're Paul and Ricky and Eagle and Simon and those guys, yeah, you got to putt outside the circle. But it's not about who makes the most 70-footers. It's still about who makes all the ones inside the circle and then just outside the circle. But, I mean, in the Pro Masters division, 40-footers don't really matter that much.
Yeah.
At the high, right? So I don't sweat those. I'll show you a way to do it, but it's really, I just kind of roll my eyes. I don't care about 60-footers.
Yeah.
It feels like there's probably, you're better off working on getting to where you can get your approach where you're not that far apart. Like you're better off working on that part of your game.
You have those shots, and if you throw a couple of them, bonuses, but you're going to lose more strokes by 3-putting by being too aggressive on them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Really, when it comes down to it, just throw a shot. You want to do a 60-footer, throw a shot if you're right-handed that goes up high to the right, that runs out of spin, that falls down, that lands within 12 feet every time you miss it. If it goes in, everybody high-fives you, but you have a 12-foot comeback putt every time.
Yeah. And
you just get up and down in 2 from there and just move to the next hole. That's that is not where you should be focusing your time. I mean, focus your time on inside the circle.
Yeah.
Everything.
Nice.
Well, I definitely want to mention while we have you on, for everybody watching / listening, go right now, run, don't walk, well, with your fingers anyway, to Amazon and pick you up a copy of Scott Stokely, Growing Up Disc Golf. He's got it. It's right there.
Yeah.
Sweet. I was just thinking, I was like, I didn't bring my copy. That would have been great to have.
Yeah.
It's my shameless plug. Yeah. Well, first off, if you want to get lessons, message me on Facebook. That's where you're going to get me. Would love to work with you. Well, I mean, all we're going to do is set up a phone call. We're going to talk about your game, how long you've been playing, what you're accomplished. We'll have a conversation first, and then that almost always ends in let's get together. But we start with let's talk. I want to learn about you. Like it has to start there. Yeah. But the book is, oh my God, this is probably like literally the best book ever written. This is like Don Quixote, Moby Dick.
I will say, dude, I'm not kidding. I loved the book, and I couldn't put it down. I was so excited to read it because I had ordered a hard copy. I was so excited to read it, I went ahead and bought the digital copy and read it on the Kindle app.
Nice.
And I mean, we've talked about how much I enjoyed it and why, but yeah, for everybody that's listening to this, go pick yourself up a copy of that book, a really unique perspective on the history of our sport. And it's kind of like it's almost philosophical, just getting Scott's perspective, looking back over years of being involved in the sport in so many different ways at a professional level. And you get the MCDG podcast endorsement. You guys need to holler at Scott and hit him up for some private lessons. So tell everybody, one, how to get a hold of you, and people in what areas should be trying to get a hold of you over the next couple weeks or so to get.
Yep. No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay, next couple weeks, I actually have a couple openings in Knoxville. I'm in Knoxville right now. I have a couple openings left. Then I'm taking a few days off, and I'm gonna be in Kingsport, Asheville, Charlotte, and then I'm gonna be in the Tri-City areas, Raleigh, down to Atlanta, and then maybe back up to Virginia. So I'm only scheduling about 3 weeks out because nobody wants to pay for a private lesson 3 months from now. So
right.
But I'm definitely staying where it's warm for the moment, and then I'll be heading back up through Kentucky and Missouri, and heading back to Texas for Texas Days.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, definitely let us know when you're going to be making another pass through Nashville. And I know you're really focused on doing the individual private lessons, but if we can set up a in-store meet and greet or any kind of some kind of event for people to come out and meet you and shake your hand, we'd love to help you get some face time that way also. You got a lot of fans in Nashville, so.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I did. I was there for 3 days, did 12 lessons. My schedule is full there, and turned a few people away.
Nice.
And then also coming out really soon, like it's already paid for, is Scott Stokely's Disc Golf Lessons, a website. It's going to be, it will be the most comprehensive site on how to throw. I believe that this is not going to interfere with the private lessons. I'm not holding anything back. Everything will be on there, A to Z.
Nice.
And broken down every single part of the game I have. So it's all going to be there.
Nice.
And the site's paid for. It's built. It's uploading content as we speak. And one thing I'm doing that's a little bit different this time, one thing I've learned is that if someone has a instructional video with high production value, it's going to be looked at differently than mine. I would also view something with high production value and consider it better or more.
Yeah.
If you don't know the difference, like you choose the one with the high production value. Like I said, I would do the same thing. So I've kind of been shooting myself in the foot, kind of going, why my information so good that just my words should convey that I'm right. And that's ignorant on my part. So I'm actually releasing everything is going to be high production value videos, and it's going to look as sharp as the information is. So, and by the way, the next podcast, I'll be back to goofy and funny again. I really take this extremely serious. So
yeah.
No, man, you had your moments too. You got to chuckle out of me.
Your listeners expecting something else. I promise you the lessons will also be equally as boring. I'm sorry, we're not going to be goofing off.
I feel like that's an adjective that's not been used on you. Boring.
Yeah.
The lessons aren't going to be, they're going to be fun because you're going to be playing better, but we're not going to be telling stories goofing off. We're going to get a lot of work done. I mean, the whole idea is afterwards for you to be better and enjoy this game more. I mean, the better you play, the more fun you have at every level. So I take it real serious.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's always a blast talking to you. Thank you again for taking the time to speak with us for a little bit.
You guys have supported everything I've done for the last year, especially, and it means the world to me because we're a community, and if people like me didn't have people like you supporting and promoting us, I won't get teary-eyed, but I can't do what I do without you guys or without. I got Pluto Sports out here, in Knoxville,
Nice.
for example, helping promote me, right? And without Pluto Sports helping promote me, I can't do what I do. So it's very symbiotic, right? I appreciate you guys as much as I hope you appreciate me.
Definitely.
We were just touching on that before we had you on the air, how, we all kind of have a lane and you get a bunch of us together, and if we're working in the same direction, it makes a freeway. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Oh my God. Wow. That's so deep.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Have a good night, man. And like I said, keep in touch with us. Let us know when you're passing through again, how we can help.
I'll be back again. I might come to Tennessee States. I've been told by a bunch of people I have to, so we'll see it. But thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. And get a hold of me through Facebook if you want lessons.
Yeah, and if you guys, you can message me, and I'll put you in touch with Scott, too. Happy to do that. Help any way we can. So, all right, buddy.
So much.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good night.
Thanks, guy.
Okay, bye.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was
I always like
enriching.
talking to Scott, dude.
I know, right? He's a
We're
great
still
guy.
recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
I love that.
Oh.
We're still recording on the OBS.
Did you see that red light? There's a big red light.
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh.
No.
No.
Scott
No red
Stokely. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that book when I get paid Friday. Why not?
I'm on it too.
Support.
It even looked good.
Support.
You pulled it up on your phone. I'm like, I'll buy that.
I got
Yeah.
2 things to buy now. I got to buy a hoodie from Flytco
That's right.
and Scott Stokely.
It's a good
on
book,
Amazon.
dude.
It's got
I'm
5
on it.
stars.
I'm gonna read it.
5 stars.
We're going to take a quick bathroom break before we get back to talking about some events we've got coming up. And, so we'll be right back with you guys.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-wah.
Shooby-doo-wah. Shooby-doo-wah.
Scooby-doop-booby-doo-bah.
And we switched up the graphics on everybody, and we're back.
Boom.
And thank you to Scott Stokely for taking some
Yes.
time to holler at us.
Definitely.
I love that guy, man. I know he's kind of a polarizing character in the world of disc golf, but I have nothing but positive interactions with Scott.
A straight shooter.
He
You can
is.
tell it's
I
like
mean,
talking to a book when it
Now
comes
that
to disc
Chris
golf, right?
Alto guy, and that's a ne'er-do-well, rabble-rousing sort.
I think he was saying Chris Alto was one of the best teachers of disc golf in Antarctica.
Mhm.
I believe he was trying to posit that. So,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
So if
have you
you're-
guys heard of Chris Alto?
I have not.
It's
Put it in your
get lost
Googleizer,
in the internet
bro.
for you can go down the rabbit hole.
All right.
Chris Alto. But yeah,
Really?
All right.
Chris Alto, ALTO. Yeah, he's the best disc golfer in Antarctica.
In Antarctica.
He's kind of an enemy.
Because I'm
frenemy-
not there yet.
Alto like
frenemy
Spanish for
of-
tall.
You want to talk about refreshing? Chug room temperature coffee. That's all I'm saying.
I've
Chug?
done that. I do it about once a day.
Chugged it.
I take
Iced.
my time.
Well, you don't want it to get less than room temperature and get
No.
like cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode
So
of
I was
the
in the
podcast
fridge.
brought to you by Chock full of Nuts Coffee.
Boom. Man, we really need to reach out to them now. I mean, we already just kind of threw it out there. So,
Yeah.
So where you at?
yeah.
You're nuts if you aren't trying. Discount.
That was unintentional, I assure you.
And every one of us looks up at the
I know, right?
can.
The can
It's
of-
That's not what
we
it
gotta look
says.
That's
So
what we're looking
tell
at.
us about the chocolate nuts. What do you know about this company?
Well, they used to sell nuts and coffee,
Yep.
and they don't sell nuts anymore, but they sell the chock full of nuts. So
Dr. Details wins
Original
again.
Coffee. No joke.
it's a tasty coffee.
It's
I just
tasty.
had quite a bit of it. I'm raring to go. We're already like over an hour and a half in, and
Yeah.
I still got stuff I want to talk about.
Well,
Let's
let's
do
should we do a quick recap of Cane Ridge?
Yeah, dude, we just had E2, Event 2 in our 2020 Bag Tag Series, and another record-setting attendance, 145 players. I think that's the most we've had for the Bag Tag at Cane Ridge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome, and it was, I mean, for as many people and for the format, because we did this for the first time last year, but we played both courses there at Cane Ridge. So we took a vote on whether we wanted to do it again this year, and it was by popular demand. We decided we'd try it again.
Yep.
It's always scary because you've got a really short course and a really challenging long course. And when you talk about the difference in time it takes the AM divisions to play the tough course, and then compare that to how long it takes the pros to play the short course, you've got to really kind of figure out where you're placing everything schedule-wise. So, but honestly, I don't think it could have gone much better.
No, it was pretty smooth.
I do want to say shout out to the homie Jay Skinner, who's not with us this evening. He's got the Kung Flu. And my wife said that he could keep that at home or I wasn't allowed to podcast tonight.
Yeah.
So
get better, buddy.
See you next time, Jay.
We love you, Jay.
You will, bud.
But yeah, he missed the bag tag yesterday because he was sick.
Yeah.
And I was terrified because we were shorthanded at E1. 182 people showed up.
Yep.
And so we were a little short-staffed, but between us and we had some great help, because I think we had Katie, me, you, Big Z, Evans. We're all there.
Yep.
And we had Brandon Rycroft that came and helped us behind the table, actually drug me out there with him. So we went to go, he helped me all weekend. We went to go get a chainsaw, and he helped at Mill Ridge.
Nice.
And Ruthie, who was there with me on Saturday as well at Mill Ridge. So Ruthie Miller, shout out to her. But yeah, really super smooth. I mean, 145 people, day of signups. I really don't see it getting any better.
That's
than we
huge.
did.
That's awesome. Sorry.
6 aces.
So awesome.
6
Jesus.
aces.
Six aces. And not all of them on Baby
That's
Cane.
right.
3 of them on Baby, 3 of them on Big.
I saw that on Facebook.
We were talking about the slideshow that I couldn't get to work, but it was a slideshow of these. I spent time today making edited versions of the pictures of everybody from their ace with their name and the hole and all that stuff.
Nice.
But I'll go ahead and shout them out now. Brendan Carmine hit Baby Cane hole 17.
Yep.
Kesley Sterner hit Baby Cane hole 7. And Hunter Adcock hit Baby Cane hole 4.
Oh, is that the...
I can probably
So we got the downhill shot, the baby uphill shot, and then the 101, 120 foot almost jump putt.
Yeah. Yeah, the jump putt.
Yeah, yeah.
That we were just talking about jump putt.
Hunter Adcock got Baby Cane hole 4. Kesley Sterner said that one, Baby Cane hole 7. Mick Gilly hit Big Cane hole 9.
Boom.
Bam.
And that was his first tournament ace, so big up to Mickey Gilly. He needed that one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And always good to see him and Krista. Robbie Burge hit Big Cane hole 10.
That's Team Flytco right
Team
there.
Flytco.
Lefty, and he said it was just on a rope straight at it the whole way, and then just dropped in.
Wow.
So.
And our homie Josh Hauke with Big Cane hole 16.
Wow.
So golf snaps to all the
golf
people,
snaps to all the aces out there.
all the people who jump putted from the tee pad at E2 yesterday.
It was awesome
amazing.
hearing the cheers out there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's usually baseball,
yeah.
but then you can tell when it's a disc golf cheer.
Yeah.
It's a little bit closer.
And they were pretty close together too. You'd hear it from echoing to the pavilion from different areas in the park. It was pretty sweet. Big ups to, I want to say thank you to Sean Grote in the Nashville Disc Golf Store. Brought the trailer out, kept AM payout on lock. We were able to actually give out a lot of the unclaimed vouchers from E1.
Yep.
So that was cool. And thank you to Landon Lamberth from Bandwagon Music and Repair. He's been donating these awesome guitar picks that were given out in our bag tags.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he brought all those out with him yesterday for the rest of our events. And we got some cool ones. You guys have seen the Music City Open logo that has the green and gold
Sweet.
guitar pick.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of those actually
super
made
awesome.
to hand out as promo items. So
And shout out to Zach Bollinger, who is making a mini out of the guitar picks.
is he really?
He has a metal mini that one of his friends fashioned, and it's like a ring, and he's putting the guitar picks on one at a time. So
Does
that's
anything
pretty-
happen if you hold on to all the guitar picks?
Yes, there is a thing. So this is a good
Better
podcast
get 'em
exclusive. We may have already mentioned this once on the show. Exclusive.
Only here, folks.
Breaking news coming in.
If you show up at the club banquet at Donaldson Bowl in December, and you can show us all of the guitar picks from the bag tags, if you can manage to keep them all, then there may be a prize in it for you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
More than likely.
And we might even go with a bonus prize if you have all the bag tag picks and the Music City Open pick.
What?
Watch out.
What?
Easter egg.
We're going crazy. Giving everything away. Also, shout out to Zach Bollinger, who won our last Music City Disc Golf Podcast Triveaway, is what I'm going to call it. These trivia
Hashtag
question
trademark
giveaways. He won the Sapphire, the prototype Sapphire that we had, right here from the Sapphire Lounge.
Live inside the Sapphire Lounge.
The
Now serving
Lounge.
the Sergeant.
Now serving, yes, absolutely. So Zach Bollinger was our most recent Triv-Away winner, and tonight we're going to give away another item. We've got this pretty blue. Hold it up just right for the
Nice.
camera.
I would like to say that blue reminds you of like those night shift blue discs. It looks very special.
Yeah.
Ooh, the night shift.
It's a very nice disc. This is a prototype Fusion Sergeant from Dynamic Discs. These are just, I don't have all the details in front of me on the release dates, but either just dropped or is about to drop right behind the Sapphire. This is a speed, I want to say a speed 11, glide of 4, turn of 0, and a fade of 2.5. And I had a conversation with my buddy Chad Smoliak up in British Columbia because he was on the flight numbers. I keep losing my paper that has them on there. But we're going to give away this Sergeant, this prototype Sergeant, for anybody listening to the podcast that can send us, the first person to send us an email at mcdgpodcast@gmail.com with the name of the hip-hop song that Flytco CEO Bradford Watson recorded a cover of. Name and artist of that song. So be the first person to email us the answer to that question.
That's going to be tough.
And you're going to win you
Should I give a clue?
a Sergeant.
Should I give him
clue?
We talked about it earlier in the episode.
It can be found on
didn't
the
we?
internet.
I think we were not recording. Did we give a clue?
We may not have been recording.
It can be
I
found
could
on
give
the
one little clue. It can be
Okay,
found
yeah.
on the internet, but I think I should. It'll be very difficult. I think I should give one clue.
Yeah, go ahead and give
It
clues.
was under the name of Busta Brad.
Busta Brad.
I gotta see that. I'm gonna have to find this. Yeah.
It is a cover, so it's a known song, known artist.
That's right.
Yeah, so see if you can get your Googleizer working. There's no rule that says that you can't contact somebody and ask for help. It's because the proof is in the pudding. I keep saying that tonight. I got to get after that one. The proof is in the 9 times out of 10.
This episode brought to you by
At the end of the day,
Snack Pack. Bet you can't eat
Bill
just
Cosby
one.
in here. Wait, maybe not.
at the end of the
not.
day, Will's just gonna do bad podcasting phrases. No, but whoever can email us the answer, name of the song and artist that Bradford Watson recorded a cover song to. Can you actually find the recording on the internet?
It exists in
SoundCloud?
a very ancient social networking site. That's,
MySpace.
Yes.
I have. You've been.
It exists on there under,
That's what we should do. See if the audience can dig up
that's
our
clue
own
number
MySpace
2.
profiles. We'll do some triviaways with
Oh
that
my
stuff.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, there might be some photos on there.
Ooh, yeah, I've got some super gangster photos of me like late at night in my room by myself with like a beanie on in the corner, holding the camera up at the phone up at a weird angle. It was a flip phone, so the photo's real grainy.
I've always wondered, how did MySpace fall so hard?
Gangster Chris
How do we get
Hills.
from MySpace to Facebook and that's it?
Oh, let's not go there.
I know.
That movie,
Social network.
Social Network, and we
Ooh,
don't have time to go down that rabbit hole.
Thanks to Robert Zavala for hauling all the stuff, but we collected a bunch of donations, full truckload of stuff that went to this community resource center this morning for tornado relief, and we were able to raise some money for Beth and Austin Mater, whose house got damaged in the storm. So that was cool. Couple things coming up. We've got the Long Hollow Open, which yesterday Justin said there were 6 AM spots left. I looked today, there was 1 left, so it's probably full by now. Congratulations to them on filling up another awesome event. We've also got the All Good at Ogwood coming up on April 18th, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
flies.
April
It's coming really
18th.
Yeah. We're in that time of season.
It's
year,
almost the
wouldn't you say?
Ides of March already.
Yeah, it's just.
And the day after that is the Barfield Open. We've also just recently announced we've got the MVP Disc Sports Throw and Go with Sarah Hokum on April 12th, which is the day after our second test event at Mill Ridge.
Boom.
So we're doing our first one this Saturday, our second one on April 11th. And then the next day is Sarah's event at Cane Ridge. It's part of the Random Draw Doubles, but it'll be a flex start. There's going to be a clinic. It's a 2-disc challenge. And the trophies are freaking wicked. I'll tell you that much. I got a sneak peek at the trophies, and they're awesome. You guys are going to want to get in on that.
Nice.
And also coming up on the 21st, our fundraiser event for Tennessee School for the Blind. Bradford, show us. Hold up that hat for the camera.
all right.
Yeah.
And the hoodie. Yeah, look. Or if the
Where's
hoodie's
the
not there,
camera?
but
Right
yeah.
here?
Here we go.
Bradford was kind enough. Flightco sponsoring the event. We've got a sweet Flightco hat going in there and a hoodie. large size.
Yep. We'll put this in there.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. Check it out.
We'll throw this hoodie in.
Flytco.com.
The event.
Look at that.
Nice.
Sweet.
Hoodie.
So you guys want to come
Zip
out
hoodie.
to the TS?
Ooh,
Yeah.
zip
Oh,
hoodie.
that's. I was wondering. Yeah,
Zip
because
hoodie.
it's the zip hoodie.
The zip hoodie.
The hood
Limited
zip.
edition.
The
This
hood
is
zip
the only
thing.
one of its kind.
Oh, it's a 1 of 1, you
Yeah.
guys. Does it come with a
That's true. That's true,
COA?
because I went with a different color for the main. Yeah, I mean this is
Nobody-
nobody else will have this.
Nobody's got this.
You're gonna be looking fresh. You ain't never gonna show up with somebody
One
wearing
of
the same
one.
dress.
No.
That's right. It will.
Same dress. That's money right there.
Money, podcast gold. So those are all the stuff that we have coming up right now, I think.
Yeah. That's a lot of stuff.
It's like into April, so that's good for now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even trying to think anywhere past GBO at this point.
Well, our next, and just to shout out our next E3 at Ogwood,
oh, yeah, baby.
Sunday, April 5th. And everybody loves to play at Ogwood. It's got the backing of the zoning department of Rutherford County, I believe.
We did get our zoning variance at Ogwood. I want to tell everybody this, if you're watching. Every weekend, Saturday and Sunday in the afternoons, Philip is doing work out there on the property, trying to get
Yeah.
it up to the standards of this zoning variance. He's currently working on the fence line along the property with, the line of the property with who. He whose name we do not speak of. So if you're free, maybe not an unreasonable plan to go catch a morning round at Ogwood and then plan to hang out and help Philip work a little bit in the afternoons. He could really use the help. Single income kind of situation at Ogwood right now, and he's got a roof to fix. He's got all this stuff he's got to add for the course. And he's a very stubborn individual, and he will not admit to needing help. And so I'm going to tell you, he needs our help. Obviously, we all love Ogwood. We all love Philip and the family there. So let's buck up.
Yeah.
And get out there and help Philip. And we will be looking at a fundraiser event for Ogwood at some point too, because we've got to put up sports netting and all sorts of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the schedule, so we can move past that. I did want to talk about the upcoming events that we had.
Yeah.
But one thing that I thought was interesting this week, I've been trying to find time to listen to more content, disc golf stuff, podcasts, watch more videos. I'm typically a person, I rarely even get to watch much of the post-produced coverage from these big events.
Yeah.
And I figure I should probably start doing that, being that we have a podcast where we talk about it. And I do some writing for Ulti World now where I'm supposed to be. And I didn't mention it to Scott, but I got halfway through a review of the book. And I'm still halfway through it. And I haven't turned it in yet. I haven't had time. We've been doing all the MCO stuff and bag tags and getting ready for the time change and all this stuff. Building a disc golf course.
You need more hours in a day.
I really wish I had some. Yeah. I wish I had. My wife definitely wishes I had some more hours in the day. I don't spend enough time with her. I love you, baby. Thanks for letting me podcast.
2 smart men on the show today.
Yep. Shout out to the wives, man. And my wife, much how you said, my wife is clutch for the club, dude. Like, I can't tell you the number of times where I've totally spaced something that we needed very badly, and it's like, oh, I didn't get raffle tickets. We have no raffle tickets. And then it's like she won't even say anything, and she'll get on Amazon, and an hour later, 6 rolls of different colors of raffle tickets will show up at the door from Amazon.
Yeah.
Or I didn't print something, and I'll just mention it to her, and it's like 15 minutes later she's graphic designed and printed all this stuff that I need. She's the best.
Yeah, shout out to all the people behind the scene that never get enough recognition. Thank you.
Yep. But yeah, so I've been trying to make it a point, especially now that we're it's a convenient time because we're at the start of the season, so the first couple big events happened, Vegas and the Memorial.
Yeah.
And I made it a point to sit and watch the post-produced coverage as much as I could. Like, make some time to sit down instead of like getting on Netflix when I get home and I'm eating my dinner or whatever at 9 o'clock before I go to bed. And I'd put it on YouTube and start watching some of the videos. And I did make it a point to watch the live coverage from the Memorial too, just so I could have, some kind of grounded opinion for the podcast. But listening to more podcasts, doing all that kind of stuff, and you start to notice like a trend in conversations that people are having. Like, there's a kind of a theme that develops to the common narrative. And you hear, and obviously it's near and dear to us, the concept of tight technical wooded versus big open long.
Yep.
And that's something obviously that we have a lot of firsthand experience with because of last year. Whoa! Music City Open.
That was the sound effect.
Watch out.
Substance abuse.
That was added in post.
Yeah. No, but Ravenwood was the longest course in PDGA history.
Yeah,
had the longest hole.
There's
in
nothing
PDGA
like having
history.
a record, right?
I know. I just love the feeling. I keep doing it, and everybody gets mad at me, but I just can't help loving that feeling, dude. Like, yeah, maybe it was a little crazy, but nobody will ever take that away from me.
Come on, not this year.
No. Well, yeah, this year we're not going for any distance records. It's going to be a nice course. It's like 9,000 feet, something like that.
Manageable.
Yeah, but it's always, the argument always comes down to, one group of people is saying that wooded courses, tight technical wooded courses, are a more true test of skill for disc golf. And then there's the other side of the field. It's like, well, you have to have this much space in these more open courses so that more people can be there to watch, so that you can actually see the full flight of the disc, so that you can get good media coverage without having to have 7 guys with camera and do seven transitions for every drive.
Sure.
And things like that. And so I was actually listening to the Disc Golf Answer Man has been doing a lot of different clip type oriented stuff where they'll do little clips with a certain theme. So they've been like doing disc golf audio, and they've got disc golf hot takes, and they're doing an on the call and all these different things. So I was listening to one of the segments of Hot Takes, and Anthony Vandenheuvel was filling in for Eric McCabe, and it was Eric's turn, so Anthony had to come up with the hot take that they discussed for this little brief clip. And just some foreshadowing here, it's, the theme, the idea behind it is to say something controversial that's going to start a discussion and defend a viewpoint, not necessarily have that viewpoint. So it's like some of the guys, they'll frame something, pose a certain question, and argue it as though they're a person that's arguing for that to happen, and then everybody discusses it. So Anthony's thing was Iron Hill, all these great wooded courses that are still being played in these big events, even though the trend seems to be going for more big open courses. Get them out of there, because the big open courses are better for media, which is better for visibility, which is better for growing the sport. So the reason I kind of was even more wanting to talk about this, Bradford, was because what you were talking about when you were talking about your motivations with Flytco and a hike in the woods and the carving the lines and that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
So at some point there's a breakdown in this argument where it's like nobody's trying to say that technical wooded golf is not a more true test of skill. Maybe some people are, because there's a lot of luck and chance involved in tree kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely been on courses where it's like, man, like you just throw it and pray.
Yeah, what you gotta do right there is just go back to what Scott Stokely said earlier, is shaping shots.
Yeah.
If you can shape a shot, if you're not just like I'm just gonna throw it right straight, just throw it straight. If you're actually shaping a shot, if you're making it hyzer, if you're using your anhyzer, then you're actually, playing true disc golf, because you're mastering the flight dynamics of the disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the argument from that side is very valid, because, Simon Lizotte can throw 600-700 feet like he's ordering a pizza. Michael Johansson cannot.
No.
Simon Lizotte can throw a putter through the woods pretty well, but if that's not, wooded golf isn't his forte. You saw that in the 2015 Music City Open. He struggled at Seven Oaks until he just started throwing his putter at everything.
Yeah.
But you can really showcase a great legendary player like Michael Johansson on a tight wooded course. You can really showcase Simon Lizotte on a big open course. Mm-hmm. And the argument from the media perspective is that having that visibility, because that wow factor, somebody that doesn't know disc golf watches some of this slick looking post-produced video and sees these discs going this far, and they're like, wow, what is this? That's amazing. Yeah. No, and so now it's like you have these two schools of thought that are going back and forth at each other about which is more important. For our biggest tournaments to be testing the skills of these players, or to present disc golf on this grand scale that's going to get more eyes. And the end of this, reason why I'm bringing it up, and I'm being long-winded about my position on it, well, not even my position, I just want everybody to understand this thought that I've got in my head. So there was a video that went around on Facebook, Nick Wright on Fox Sports. Might be ESPN, but I think it's Fox Sports. It was a clip from a segment he was talking about NBA basketball, something about Steph Curry and somebody else. And he was talking about, he's like, why do you think this guy makes this much many millions of dollars, every week, and your world's best frisbee guy makes makes nothing or makes a couple $100 a week.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main point of the discussion was that he doesn't know the statistics very well, but in pointing out the salaries and the livable wages that people are making now. But
Right.
he made a very valid point because he said that he's making this much money because people want to watch basketball.
Right.
Because basketball has shown that people want to watch it. This coverage is in demand. There's a market.
It's been around longer too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of shows a light that the media perspective of that argument is very valid as well.
Sure.
I mean, like, we want to produce content that the entire world wants to watch. That's how the sport gains legitimacy, as it breaks out of our niche.
I feel like they can find a way.
Yeah.
Surely they can find a way.
Basketball is inside of a box. Essentially you're in a closed space where everyone's centered around the action.
Right.
Which is very hard to do in disc golf unless you're making a course right beside a street where people can also walk along the street while you're playing disc golf, and you're not actually like disturbing the round, because the more people you introduce, the more chances you have for somebody taking a picture and that little sound going off and disturbing your game.
Yeah.
That disc golfers also have to take that into effect. Like, if we want more people to come out and see, we have to be kind of open to the fact that things like that are going to happen. Like, somebody's going to take a picture in your backswing.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be making a sound while you're putting,
for sure.
And if you're not reacting correctly when that happens in your own screen and you're just like going off, oh my God, I can't believe he was snapping the camera while I was putting, then you may be taken away. You need to embrace.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of parallels to ball golf when it comes to that aspect with our sport. And,
Yeah.
There's a lot of respect
I
in ball
think
golf.
Also, the galleries are small enough that if one person makes a small cough, you're going to hear that because it's almost dead quiet. Where some of the bigger golf events, ball golf events, there's so many people there. There's people walking to different holes like pretty far away.
Sure.
And so there is some constant movement. But, there's always a discussion, too, of like people walking behind people putting. Like, should you stop if you're in somebody's sight, or should you just freeze, or should you keep walking?
And it's even more if you know that golfer who's putting. If you see somebody putting, you're like, oh my God, I can't make a move while he's putting. I know how he is. If I make even a sound, I should be very still right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it almost too. It's like there's all this kind of question about it. It's all up in the air because there's some ambiguity to it from the perspective of the people organizing these tours. I mean, I would say in a perfect world, you have one tour that is, your MPO, FPO, big open courses. Let's broadcast it to the world, huge galleries, slick video, all that stuff. And then maybe the other tour, is more focused on the true test of skill. Still good coverage and all that stuff, but it's like, you see so many different tours with traditional golf, and a lot of those have different focuses. Like their legacy or their theme is kind of branded differently. So I don't know if the answer would be kind of changing the approach up between tours, but also I think it seems like both the PDGA and the Pro Tour are kind of getting away from one thing and moving into another thing. You see a lot more events that are on just one course now, but it seems like if you could have like a good one round on a really hard wooded course, one round on a really hard big open course. I mean, and there's not saying that there's not technicality in big courses, and I think a lot of it is more like sublime, because a golf shot in a wooded hole, the obstacles, the terrain kind of dictates. It tells you. You can read it like a book. You say, my disc has to go this way to progress down the field. You might have 7 different ways of approaching a target on an open hole, but if it's designed correctly and there are obstacles and there's elevation and there's these different considerations, then the superior golf shot may not be as obvious.
Sure.
And
so what if there was a asterisk at the end of the tournament, and just because you let's put it this way. Let's say if you're going to a tournament and you saw that there was like an asterisk and it said O or asterisk and it said W, it would be open or wooded.
Yeah.
What about something like that? That way you could keep your stats and say, this is how good I am on open courses. and this is how good I am on wooded courses, because I've always said that, this may or may not have to do with it, but I think that pros are pros and they're super pros.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
There are definitely super pros out there, right?
When it seems
sure,
like they're
of
throwing
course.
another 50 feet farther every
With
week.
a mid-range.
right.
I get out there against a super pro. They're using mid-ranges when I'm using fairway drivers, They're using
Yeah.
putters when I'm using drivers. Like,
Yeah,
You're
because
a super pro.
You're just going to have that much more control.
Yeah.
That's right.
You throw a buzz 430,
yeah,
then that's
come on.
And,
like, yeah.
You have a clear advantage,
Why?
but do you
Yeah.
have a clear advantage on a asterisk W on a wooded course?
Yeah.
I think that would be, at least, if nothing else, like a really cool stat to have on UDisc. You know what I mean? Like percentages on, wooded courses or technical courses or whatever, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how, I wouldn't ever be able to say how you would go about implementing something
Well,
like
what
that.
about, like, how would you say, like, well, this is a mix?
Well,
'Cause
that's
a lot
what
of times
I'm saying.
people are like,
Would, but yeah,
oh, it's a
they
mix.
should just throw
My
one, yeah.
favorite courses are mixed.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, like
Sure.
I like being out in the open and
Yeah.
in the woods. Like I know I mentioned being in the woods earlier,
Right.
but my favorite challenges you in every way it can. Like
Yeah.
through your distance of open course, where like you gotta have the big arm, and then
Right.
through your more technical holes. Like I like the mix.
Because, then you got, like, a wind factor in the,
Yeah, because
wooded courses is not as much, or where it's like your tee starts wooded and then it goes out into a field and you can't tell
There you go.
like how it's, and if you can read the
Right.
wind a little better, then maybe you got a better shot at it.
I like it being different, and I understand that the
Yeah.
media and the gallery aspect of it is a challenge
Yeah.
from a coverage standpoint.
Right.
A lot of it
general
is
standpoint,
generalizations too. People are just lumping big things and saying, "Oh, it's all going to all the big tournaments are on these
Yeah.
open courses. We need some more wooded courses." And I think there is more of a mix, honestly. And that would
Sure.
be the ideal situation. Is like every course is a mix.
Yeah.
You've got it evenly spread, because then you've got an opportunity for the people that play better in a wooded technical situation to
Yeah.
excel on some holes, and
Maybe the answer here is not somewhere we're even looking. Maybe the answer is better course design. Like even you have a wooded hole that you actually designed it to have a gallery or to have for
Yeah.
coverage and stuff. Like you can still have that technical aspect of it, but there's still opportunity for the media to be there to cover it, and for the gallery to be there to see it. Like,
I think
maybe-
Dixon brings together some of that. That's why you have the gold level tees.
Mm-hmm.
We have multiple tees on one course. You're like, okay, this is a gold layout. Like Cedar Hill. Oh my goodness. How many layouts does Cedar Hill have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you put it at its longest. Oh yeah, that's an NT.
Yeah.
Like for sure. Like that's a tough course.
Yeah. There's some trickiness as well, technicality.
There's
Not just
also, it's also too, like, based on personal perspective, and for the design thing, you also have to take into consideration what kind of land are you given to work with. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a solid block of dense woods where every inch that you plan on playing, you've got to carve out of the forest? Because a lot of these places now, I think the statistic was somewhere to 1 to 2. It's like 30 golf courses in the country close every month, and 60 open disc golf courses open every month, or vice versa.
What?
There's some kind of crazy statistic like that, where now you're seeing a lot of disc golf courses. These new courses that are going in the ground are being installed on what used to be an old traditional golf course.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a trend in availability and something that's developing organically. You're just going to be seeing more of that. But something to be said, too, for drawing more lines and boundaries between how much like traditional golf disc golf needs to be, because there's some things that just are not the same. They don't translate.
I don't think they need to be.
No, I don't
it's
either.
a separate sport. Like,
But that's something that everybody always reaches
but
for,
Like,
like-
I think it's best off just keeping it out of mind and just let disc golf go where disc golf goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there was the whole argument about the green speed, like between disc golf and golf. Like, people are wanting to get the drama of golf on a green out of disc golf, and that's not where that drama happens, because a putt goes into a basket that quick,
Yeah.
We should just go smaller baskets. Mark Smith baskets across the board.
Yeah.
No,
There's so many
It's just pissed off,
debates. So many debates. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think another thing that you have to keep in mind, too, is a lot of people that really advocate, it could really, it would be interesting to see data on it, but the people that advocate really hard for more technical wooded courses, a lot of those people are from areas that are in the woods. Maybe they don't tour much. They don't play a lot of these bigger events, and they're wanting to play what they're used to. You know what I mean? And they're just, because they're not playing in the top 20% of disc golfers, top 10% of disc golfers in the world, their concerns aren't in the same ballpark.
They're biased. They have a specific,
right. They're bringing
their own personal experience to it.
What happens is if you have your one course and it's like a small course, you're going to play it over and over. Not too often are you going to go to an open field and say, I'm imagining a 500-foot shot out there. I'm going to play this open field like a 500-foot shot over and over again, just because I don't play on a big course. I play on a small course, so I'm going to learn how to throw a 500-foot shot on an open field. You know, that's not fun.
Right.
I mean, it could be fun. I'm sorry. If you think that's fun, that's awesome. But I love playing wide open courses, and I also love playing wooded courses. So
I guess somebody's missing their ride, taking their time coming out.
That totally threw me for a loop.
Wait charges start after 2 minutes of wait time. Yeah, I mean, I want to know if there's something. I mean, it kind of seems too like, how much of it is people just complaining about the way that the way that you're watching the top 20 disc golfers compete, because they aren't playing that way. They don't throw 500-600 feet, and you want to watch what you can do, and like I think that's the
Uber.
That's the alarm for the nuclear weapon that's armed with a sapphire lens.
That's
the universe. It's 8:30. That's the universe going. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I think they want to get on the show. They're trying to come in.
Yeah.
Shout out Nashville. Shout out to the Nashville. Shout out.
I think one of the things on that discussion is people always say, "Well, what if we had a tour at my course? Bring the pros to my course. They're going to mess up." And it's like, yeah, the first time, but they know how to figure out courses.
Yeah,
they know how to figure out lines, even if it's wooded. That you can't. They'll throw a roller. Something
why
crazy.
They are where they are.
And it's like they will figure out how to unlock a course. Like, I mean, I just played Cane Ridge yesterday, and there are people shooting in the pros and the MCO toughest layout like 47s, 46s. And that's cool. I mean, it's awesome to see.
Wow.
Because they can unlock, and they just have different skill set that may or may not have been 30 strokes better. 47 may or may not be 30 strokes better than I shot at Cane Ridge Advanced.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying, like, for me as a player, I prefer to play in the woods too. That's my kind of golf, because I know I can't throw over 400 feet. Like, I'm good if I can get to 400. That's a good day.
Right.
if I can push 4, I'm happy. And I'm not going to go out to a Ravenwood or a Mill Ridge and bomb 600 feet and just get strokes on everybody. Yep. So I prefer to play in the woods, but I'm also a person that, like, I do want to see Simon throw a mile.
Yeah.
I want to watch that in a tournament. Like,
that's right.
When I watch the coverage, I get that wow factor too, and I can totally agree that somebody that doesn't know the sport, just watching it for the first time, is going to see that and be like, whoa, what is this? And they're going to want to pay more attention.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And people, it's easy to say grow the sport, but how are you going to do it? And what does that mean? Does that mean more money in the sport? Does that mean bigger payouts and big corporate sponsors and ESPN coverage and all that stuff? Because if so, then we got to get more money. We got to get more people watching it, more people demanding the content. And if there's any validity in the trends in other mainstream sports, you got to make it more of a spectacle. And I think that that's very true, that having that big stage, it doesn't mean they have to be bad courses. I think somewhere in this discussion, there's like this equalization made between big and open and bad. Like, it's not like you're throwing in a wide open field on any of these courses.
No,
you've got things to contend with and obstacles and things like that. There's technicality to it. So,
and we were just there was a potential sponsor for and they were asking, sponsors are asking what's their exposure. And they're going to be asking those questions. Who's going to be tuning in?
Right.
These are the questions they want to know. And, like, how can you prove this many people are tuning in? And it's like, to get to that next level, we have to have these YouTube videos get such and such amount of hits. And I know it's kind of, you don't just want to be making it for that, how many hits you get on the video, how many views, but people are asking those questions. So trying to figure out how to showcase these, and so that's a big part of it.
So take your time and subscribe, like, share. It doesn't take any money to share, like,
I know.
Hit the bell.
Yep. But
That's all
it
you gotta
does
do.
bring money
But
in.
it brings money in.
Ring the bell.
It's something free. It takes like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It makes what we're doing monetizable.
Do it.
Yeah.
And lucrative. And, you know, I think, too, I think I might have just lost my train of thought. But
Do you want me to put in a quick plug? A 10-second station identification live from location at the Sapphire Lounge.
There you go.
live from location at the Sapphire Lounge. And it worked. I just reloaded my brain.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
That's the power of the
Don't worry, he's a
Sapphire
doctor.
Lounge.
He knows exactly what to do.
whenever we thank you, dude. I'd be a mess without you, Dr. Hoy.
Thanks.
But no, the and then I lost it again.
Here's my time.
You took it away. Why would he take it away?
What was I getting ready to say?
Sometimes these things happen in the Sapphire
Yeah,
Lounge, but
do what I
you know,
do.
it's the idea.
Okay, I got
the
it
idea is
again.
right there.
Okay, I got it. No,
Go, now.
Anytime I get into this conversation with people, it always comes back down to, well, we can figure it out. Like when you talk about being spectator friendly, like getting people there actually wanting to watch it. Well, we can figure out a way to get the spectators through. And then it usually seems like that particular topic isn't really ever discussed more detailed in a more detailed way than that. And as a person that's like, for the sake of the conversation, saying I'm going to run this event, like look at GBO. Or one of these legacy events, these huge legacy events that are on that level. You got 1,000 or more spectators walking behind lead card. Wow. You're going to tell me you're going to have 1,000 people behind lead card at Cedar Hill, and that's not going to cause a problem,
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying earlier. It's like
Good call.
the courses almost have to be designed for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you want to go wooded, technical, like I know it's more space, and I know whenever.
And if you can start from scratch, that's a good strategy. I would say that's solid. But you talk about a place like Cedar Hill, and you're going to have to clear cut the forest to make room for a gallery.
Right.
That's so true.
And it's just, yeah. If you want to make room for a gallery, that's kind of is what it is. Yeah.
Which, and maybe the answer is, like, I'm toying around with the idea for 2021 MCO, first 2 rounds at Cedar Hill, third round at the bigger open course, whether it's Mill Ridge or Ravenwood or what have you, and then a cut for top 40% plus ties, and then that big open course again for the final round.
Yeah.
Because then you've got probably less spectators to worry about on the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then you still get to have the pros kind of have to play some technical golf.
Yeah.
Just to ease that whole debate. But
Yeah.
maybe that's the answer, or some kind of approach like that.
Keeping the spectators in mind when you make the holes.
Yeah.
Right.
Thinking,
Yeah.
okay, spectators can stand here, pros can throw.
That's
they
one of
can
the
walk
many great
along.
things about Mill Ridge, the way
Yeah.
it worked out there is as we're walking around figuring everything out, but and then we can move the spectators through this way.
There you go.
Because that's the thing where if you get a couple spectators, I'm just going to go sneak around this tree. They can't get here. Like, no, the pros probably, the super pros you're talking about, they probably can get there.
True.
Wherever you think is too far, their drives, they
Right.
could probably get there.
Sure.
Yeah. Like,
And maybe, train of thought again. Just like,
well, it'd be fun to see.
I did it to him.
yeah, you did. I
We're
think
still
what I was gonna say
live
is
from
maybe
the
like, we live in the future. Maybe the answer is when you have these mixed courses or whatever. Maybe people have to watch on some sort of live feed, for a few holes.
Yeah.
And then they can pick it back up when they pop back out of the wooded area or something. I mean,
Yeah.
You make a VIP lounge. You charge for that.
yeah.
Maybe the Sapphire
There you
Lounge.
go.
I
The
mean, I
Sapphire
can't say
Lounge.
Yeah.
The Sapphire RV.
Sapphire Safari
The Sapphire
with your
Mobile
tour guide,
Lounge.
Marcus Rogers.
I wonder if
TVs
Dave
on the
Duke will let us
outside.
borrow one of his party buses for that, the mobile Sapphire Lounge.
The idea is right
Nashville
now.
has a lot of party buses. We
Yeah.
can get the beer tavern, the beer,
Yeah.
with the people who ride the bikes on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going way too far.
Nashville's the perfect. Like,
Oh gosh.
this can happen.
All
right.
talk about that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yes, I do. All
yeah.
through the winter too. Like,
All of the winter.
We call them the Woo Girls.
That's right.
We're in Nashville. Woo!
That's not really making this thing go anywhere.
I'm on a bus.
I'm getting married in 2 weeks. I got my girlfriends with me. Woo!
That's what it's become. It didn't used to be like that.
I don't hate it.
Now
Hey,
is.
bring all the money
And
to the
it's cool.
city you want. I don't
That's
care.
right. Nashville's grown
Nashville's
big.
poor. Bring more money here. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
Bachelorette
Pay to
parties,
fix our
disc
roads,
golf?
please.
Oh yeah.
Disc golf bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Okay, it's
Watch out.
We're about to go into dangerous territory.
I can see the gears turning right now. Just like
Sapphire Lounge after hours.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be after 8. Oh Lord, so we're in the Sapphire Lounge.
The Velvet Ropes.
It has been a long episode.
Bonus material.
Yeah.
We're already past 2 hours.
Tune into my MySpace account.
I gotta send a shout out before we get off.
Do it,
there.
man.
Like
and tell everybody where they can follow you and all that stuff one more time.
Yes, a shout. Well, you can follow us at Flytco, FLYTCO. Obviously, on Instagram. That'll get you on Facebook as well. Flytco.com. Couldn't be more simpler.
Boom.
That's that. But I wanted to give a shout out to somebody who's supported the brand from like the beginning, and she's local, Katie Holbrook. Katie Holbrook.
Nice.
She's been from the second, like I think the Instagram went up and the content started happening. She was like, "This is so cool," and she's been in it from the beginning. So I wanted to make sure to give her a quick shout out.
Awesome.
She's been a big fan and a big support, and she really gets me fired up too. Yeah. So like all that stuff, you know, feeds into. Yeah,
and she took down FPO yesterday.
Yeah, she got her win at the back tag.
It's huge.
Love you.
Awesome.
But yeah, so check out Flytco, you guys. Flytco.com, correct, for ordering purposes.
You got it.
Remember, however you can find out, whatever you got to do, find out what hip hop song Bradford Watson recorded a cover to. Email us at mcdgpodcast.com, name of the song and the artist, and win yourself a prototype Sergeant from DD.
So just with information, you can get a free disc?
Just for information. It's the MCDG Podcast Triveaway. Triveaway, guys.
Registered trademark from the Sapphire Lounge.
I'll put a cha-ching there.
Yeah.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Thank you, Bradford, for coming.
Yes.
Telling everybody about.
Thank you for having me.
This has been fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's awesome. Was it everything you expected with doing
it's
a podcast?
Everything I ever dreamed of. I've had dreams leading up to this for the last week since I knew that I was coming here. And it's been everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, so many awesome beards in this room.
I know, right? We all got chin hair.
That's right.
Watch out.
Yeah. Watch
out. Got a little peach fuzz.
The beard of directors.
That's right.
All right, guys. That's it for episode 74 from the Sapphire Lounge. I'm Will McCaskill. We love y'all.
Bye.
Peace.
Pieces.
Later.